larger. Come get it fire, larger. Feel like a star, larger. Here we're all equal, larger. Still take you far, larger. Get the legs faster, larger. Come have some fun, larger. He's the one, larger. You know where to come. Larger, come get it fire, larger. Feel like a star, larger. Here we're all equal, larger. Still take you far, larger. Get the legs faster, larger. Come have some fun, larger. He's the one, larger. You know where to come.
Grand rising, grand rising, grand rising. Hervey, Hervies, we have a special guest, none other than Sebastian Sell. Came up this morning. He's international, you know. And I was on live earlier via the YouTube thing, and then he was like, I have thoughts. Can you redrop a link? I was like, surely, Sebastian, because you're one of my original curvy crew, and anything for you, boo. Welcome. Happy Friday. It's Good Friday, too, Sebastian.
Happy Friday. Yes, it is Good Friday indeed. And good morning, everyone. It's actually afternoon for me, but good morning to everyone in the US and Canada.
Can you tell the international people where we're internationally calling from this morning?
I am calling from Spain, the Kingdom of Spain.
On Spain, you guys. Spain. Not to be confused with Mexico.
Right.
Spain. I used to think that Mexico and Spain were the same thing because I used to think that Mexicans spoke Spanish, so it must be the same place. And then when I got old enough to realize that Spaniards had blonde hair and blue eyes and they was not like Mexicans like I knew from Oakland, what you say? I was very confused. I was like, so why don't they call it, they speak Mexican? I was confused. You know what I mean? Like I was a young mind. But they speak Spanish. But they're colonization. So there
just
is
like a lot of Africans speak English because the British.
But is there a language called Mexican?
No, but there are indigenous languages in Mexico that still exist today.
Okay. So just like how our tribes for indigenous natives had how the Ohlone spoke and the Cherokee spoke and the Blackfeet, we all had a dialect.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, there's you guys. My mind is growing some more. Okay, look what we have in the house. We have Kathy Farron first in the house. Allie from Miami. I sent you a link, Allie, because I know you be having thoughts, girl. I sent Emmanuel a link also just in case he can come. Yes. Kathy says she has family from Spain and Cuba. Right on. Happy Good Friday to all the girls.
Some of my family's from Cuba too, Kathy.
Right on. You know, I don't think I have. No, my great granddaddy, Granddad Pat, we used to call him. No, he was actually just my granddaddy. That's my kid's great granddaddy. So Granddad Pat is what I used to call him, and he was like a regular black man, but he used to always want to be from someplace else. So he would say he was from Ponce.
From where?
Ponce or in Puerto Rico, Ponce,
P-O-N-C. Ponce, yeah.
Yes, he would say he was from Ponce. People didn't know nothing. So, yeah, Ponce. It was hilarious. Um, but he
Interesting,
was
because that's where Jocelyn Hernandez is from.
oh, no way, she's from Ponce?
She's from Ponce.
Wow, wow. Well, maybe that's why she likes. Never mind. I won't even go there. Never mind. I was gonna say something really
Do
ratchet.
not, don't,
Yeah, that
don't.
was.
Listen,
Yeah,
I love my Jocelyn. We're not gonna drag her. I love
yeah,
Jocelyn. Do not
yeah.
do
I love Jocelyn too. She's like really a story of getting like literally crawling out of the gutter. She said she had it rough growing up, and for her to have like just embraced all of the rough edges of herself and climbed and nailed her way off of the strip floor to a strip floor on Zeus. Talk about a arc.
that part. We're gonna leave Jocelyn to what she does best. And I think she's been doing it since she was 13 or something. I forgot when she
Yeah,
started.
yeah, it's amazing. Like, I mean, once a hoe, always a hoe.
We're not gonna judge her on the choices she's made because we don't
No,
know
I'm
what her
just
life
kidding. I'm totally
circumstances
just
were.
kidding. I love Jocelyn Hernandez, and hey, I had a whole phase too. What did Ming Lee tell Brit to say that her hoe got assassinated or something?
We can't forget also. Remember when they were on College Hill and Amber Rose hurt her and Jocelyn's the one that got suspended. I mean got expelled, but
Yes,
Amber Rose stayed.
freaking white supremacy in full effect. She used those Karen tears. She assaulted Jocelyn. She got her half white ass up out of her thing, walked 3 rows up, bum rushed Jocelyn, sucker punched her, and then cried, and Jocelyn got freaking expelled. That was disgusting.
That
That was
hurt.
like the epitome. That's the epitome of black life. That's nasty. Emmanuel, I sent you a link. Did you get it? It's in your it's a DM. It might have came from my Finsta. You should have a link to Restream. You and Allie. I don't know which thing I sent it from though. I have too many accounts. Oh my God, Sebastian, did you notice the thing I sent? I think I sent it to you from, I got my account back, remember, 2 years ago.
Yes. I was so
Yes.
surprised you did. How? Give the
Okay.
YouTube sheet a breakdown on how you got your account back. Because this is
Crazy
something that a lot of people don't
story.
know.
2 years ago in 2023, July or June, something with a J, 2023, I go to my 2000. I had 2,300 people in my thing. Now it's down to 17 because I haven't been on in 2 years. But I had like 2,300 followers in there. I had great content. I had some blue checks following me back. And then one day I go to get my account and it was like, you can't get in. Your account is locked. You need to take these steps and try to gain entry. And I did everything they said, and it wouldn't let me in. And then I even contacted Instagram. I never got through. I don't know who the people always say, oh, you can just call and blah, blah, blah. So I usually get through on a lot of things, but I never reached Instagram about my account. So instead of like panic, I pivoted and just made a new larger curves with 2 S's. And remember, I was coming on here. I got a new Instagram. If you follow me here, follow me there. It's 2 S's. And because they wouldn't let me in my account. And like my recovery didn't work. I would keep sending, like it said, forget password. And you know how you're supposed to get a recovery link? Never got the link for 2 years, you guys. Never got the link for 2 fucking years. Now, last Tuesday, I wake up. I had an email from Instagram that came to me at 3:46 a.m. I was asleep, y'all. I was asleep. So when I got up and I had saw the email from 3:46 a.m. talking about I was trying to get in my account, recover password here, it was like, damn, somebody's hacking me again. What the, they just always keep coming after me. I'm all paranoid, right? And so I go to the thing and it says, oh, you asked for access to your account. Change your password here or press no, it wasn't you. And I was like, well, it came to me this time. Let me just go ahead and try to reset it. What's the worst could happen? Reset the password, got full access. Full access to the account that I had from 2 years ago that had 2-factor authentication on that shit. and still wouldn't let me in. But now I'm back, bitches, and I'm at Larger Curves, LRGACURVE1S on these Instagram streets on, thank God, on Good Friday. Won't he do it? Not like how Erica says, but won't he do it? Yeah, it was all a freaking fugazi. I don't know what happened. I have no idea. I don't know who requested the password, but I didn't. But God knew I wanted my account back. It's the moral of the story. I got it back, you guys. 2 years. Almost to the day, because we're in April, May, June. 2 more months, it would have been the freaking to the day, you guys. Isn't that crazy, Sebastian?
Yes, it is. I'm so proud that you were able to get back with your Instagram.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now, if I can just translate my TikTok that has 25,000 people and start monetizing it, then that'll be great. But okay, so this morning on Friday Frenzy, here on Larger Curves, thanks for popping in. We have a couple of things on the agenda. We have hot topics and reality news. Now, I don't think we should start with Carmelo. That's kind of thick. You think we should? I think we should start with some base stuff and then maybe end with Carmelo, or what are you thinking?
Well, I haven't been watching Housewives, but I can just give my comments on the things that are presented on Housewives.
Okay, yeah, because we're not going to be up here forever, ever. Okay, so let's just jump into Real Housewives of Beverly Hills because you guys, my video got struck the other day when I did the rewatch. I should have known. Look, I should have known. So the other day, I did a live reaction while to the thing while it was playing. And so you could clearly hear it in the background and I'm reacting to it, right? But you couldn't see it, but you could hear it. But you never saw an image. But I did do the whole show. But I did it very broke up because I had a lot of thoughts every moment. And they were like, copyright, this cannot be seen anywhere, bitch. I was like, what? And because I was sure that I follow people that like were just doing live reactions to the Real Housewives of Atlanta over the weekend. You know what I mean? And their video's still very up and I can do a gift on it and everything. So they pick and choose, whatever. But my bottom line on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season finale, reunion part 3, we only needed one part. We really only needed one part. And they should have pulled a Jennifer Tilly because Jennifer told us that there's so much that they could use and this is what we get. And to me, it was like a lot of, it could have been better. The quality of what we got for our reality entertainment could have been better according to even Jennifer Tilly. And Jennifer Tilly went the extra mile and has been consistently posting pictures from deleted scenes on her Instagram. So if you guys want to go check it out, the outfits the ladies wore behind the scenes, the different events, they had went out clubbing, they had went to several dinners in St. Lucia, and none of that stuff got into the finale, along with other scenes throughout the season. She's always posting her outfits. So I thought that was interesting. But Garcelle left, to me, the way she came in, owning her authentic space, participating to the most she could according to her contract, without allowing this place to take over her soul, you know? And I feel like she stayed true to herself. She never gave us an angry Black woman. She never gave us, and people were very mad 5 years ago when Garcelle came on the scene. So many people were upset that Garcelle wasn't Nene. And they literally were like, well, she's not giving Nene. And I'm like, but there's already one Nene. What do we want? Everybody walking around being Nene? I don't act like Nene. You know, Nene doesn't act like me. And what do they always say? Black people are not a monolith. Some Black people talk in a monotone, but not all Black people are a monolith. So people have to get over the space they hold for Blackness and try to expand that we're more than a caricature of our culture. We're more than program stereotypes. We are not reduced always to one emotion of anger. And other people need to educate themselves on deciphering where a Black person is coming from, because we are very multi-layered and complex beings, and there's multifaceted. So I don't know why everybody wanted this Caribbean goddess to come on and act like she was Nene from Georgia. That doesn't make any sense. What about you, Sebastian?
Listen, I've always been defending Garcelle from the beginning. I remember getting dragged on Gabor's channel multiple
Oh my
times. I
God.
remember, oh
I
my
couldn't
God,
even,
yo.
wait just a second. I couldn't even visit Gabor's house this whole season because I cannot stand the disrespect, the disdain, the hate over there for Garcelle. And she has done nothing but be excellent, and just always an issue over there. And I just can't, my ears, it's like nails on a
Garcelle,
chalkboard.
I remember, oh, you could literally go back those couple of seasons. I remember anything Garcelle would do, there would be a problem. Garcelle walks away, there would be a
Yeah.
problem. She does her hair a certain way, there would be a problem. Just
Yeah.
Garcelle's existence was a problem.
Her whole existence. Her beach house doesn't have enough sand. Her regular house doesn't have enough stairs. Her weave didn't have enough hairs. Her fashion didn't have enough rhinestones. Everything she did, I mean, literally anything she does. And that's real bias. Like, I have my faves too, but that is definitely a bias against someone for no fucking reason. Like, and he didn't respect her family. And I love Gabor, but he does not like her to the point where I couldn't even go over. And I tried to even go give him a like. I had to take my like back, Gabor, because I do not stand for Garcelle disrespect. I did. I took my like back and I politely left the chat. I couldn't even stand it. It
I
was
love
disgusting.
my
I
girl
was like, I don't even
Garcelle.
want the algorithm. I don't want the algorithm thinking I want to hear Garcelle hate. I took my like back.
I love my girl Garcelle. No one can take the love away that I have for Garcelle.
Exactly. How do you feel about her not playing into a stereotype or a character of American
Well,
Blackness?
why is she supposed to like be something that she's not? You know, like that's
Mm-hmm.
she's not this. She's not like I remember one time she mentioned the reel that people say, "Oh, she doesn't bring out her hood enough." Garcelle's not from the hood. Like she's
Yeah.
not like, and that's another thing. Like we're not all the same. We are not all the
Mm-hmm.
same. We cannot expect all of us to think the same, be the same. It's just it's completely it's dumb.
Yeah. No, no, not the SH. Not
Mademoiselle.
the SH. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't really know what it is, but she's a true class act. And I said that too. I was like, Garcelle doesn't have, they wanted her to like act hood or pop off. Garcelle doesn't pop off. She's a pop icon. Like, you guys are with the wrong pop. It's weird. And even like pretending like Dorito. So you didn't see Porrito this season really show her, like, those microaggressions were on steroids. And now she has a Black friend named Bozo. And Bozo like to wear Dorito as an ass helmet, and she has to get shit out of her weave all day after messing with Porrito. But it was really weird that Bozo, I'm calling her Bozo because she does circus type behavior. Bozo went to Garcelle before the show. She says, "Tell me about the other ladies." Garcelle says, "I'm going to let you find out on your own." She watched the show and proceeds to immediately align herself with the biggest macro aggressive bitch on set, who's been the worst to Garcelle as recently as last season with her "I'm oppressed too," and she pulled a Ramona Singer. Remember, she's oppressed too. And aligned herself with her fighted with her all season against Garcelle, gets herself to the reunion, only to try to blow up Garcelle's spot and be like, oh, well, I had went to Garcelle and Garcelle wouldn't tell me anything about you. And so, and so that means that what she would have done had Garcelle told her anything, she would have came to the reunion and been like, oh, well, I went to Garcelle and Garcelle told me this about you and this about you and this about you and this about you. And she was trying to change my mind about you and da 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 da. So there was going to be no winning with this bozo op. She's a fucking op. And she thinks that doing a Brandon show with Jimmy Fallon is more than what Garcelle Boo motherfucking Vay has done. Please. It sounds boring. I had to tweet her. I didn't tweet her. I hit her in a comment this morning. I was like, you're an op and your show sounds boring. I just can't. I can't. And then how nobody went after Garcelle. I've said for 5 years, they don't pass her a tissue. They don't console her. Let freaking Kyle look like she's about to start twitching and crying. And all the people come over and circle around her. And Garcelle can be sitting, streaming tears coming down her face. And those bitches hardly even pass her a tissue. It's the lack of compassion. Let me put this up. I'm going to go ahead and do it, because this is what I had in the struck video. I'm going to go ahead and look for it. Let me see where'd it go. Where'd it go? Because this is what, here it is. I don't think I'm doing this right, but I am. Okay. I'm feeling like, can I share this image real quick? Share. I don't know how this is going to work. Oh, you sent me the link. Krista, thanks for coming through. Can somebody drop Krista Marie's link? If I have, Krista, you're a mod. Drop your link so people can know where to come find us. So this right here. Oh. This is what I had in my other video that got struck. And if you guys notice, you see Garcelle in this picture, Sebastian. Remember this year when she was confronting Diana the lip licker at the reunion and had to oh, I see you guys in the back now. Sorry about that. I'm hearing you all. Thanks for coming through. I'm sorry if you've been back there a while, babe. I didn't see that.
Hey, good morning.
Morning. Happy Good Friday.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. So today is the day they kill him and then he rises on Sunday, right?
Yeah, Sunday, Easter, my birthday.
Yeah. Oh, no way!
Yes.
Oh my gosh, how sweet. Are you an Aries?
Okay, I'm not sure because my birthday's April 20th. And every time I go online and I say, what's my zodiac sign? Some sites lump it in with Aries, others put it with Taurus. So I don't know.
Oh, so you're a cusper. You're literally a cusp baby. You're both. I bet you have a lot of both.
Yeah, he's a cusp. He's a cusp.
So you're sensual and earthy and a nurturer like your Taurus side, but you're fiery and independent and adventurous on your Aries side. That could be something that's happening. I don't know. I just know you're a cool dude. But so this picture right here, I had done for the reunion part 2 way back when Lisa Rinna and the Lip Licker were on that season. And I felt that season that this is what I was witnessing with Garcelle, and the actions towards Garcelle was dehumanization. She was deprived from compassion consistently for 5 years. And how I feel she explained what I'm saying is compassion, she called out as grace. You know what I mean? So on the final episode, she says, oh, everybody's up. On the final episode, she said, I don't want to answer any more questions. I just don't get any grace from this group. And to me, grace looks like compassion. Grace looks like validation. When I say something, you're like, oh my God, really? Or you validate it or something. You don't try to undo her feelings. Whenever she said how she felt, every white lady up there was like, no, you don't. Why do you? That's not real. That's not true. She was like, oh, I just feel different in the rooms, but you're not different. But she was the first black housewife. So you are different. So you guys are lying, blowing smoke up her butt, not validating her experience that she's sharing with you, and then pretending like she's standoffish because you guys don't know how to get to know a person. I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts?
Well,
Uh-oh,
I
am I
did not watch
frozen?
this season. I did not watch this season, but ever since Garcelle has been on the show, I will say the cast has always treated her like sugar honey iced tea, and that she was not valuable to even be on the show. And the viewers were also part. Some of the viewers as well were also part of that treatment with the bots and etc. that were going to her son.
Right. And then that throwing her book in the trash. That was this picture, you guys. They threw her book in the trash and then laughed about it. And Andy's in on all the shits over there. Andy is in on every amount of sugar honey iced tea that there is. Okay. Is this a better way? Yeah. So he's in on all the sugar honey iced tea because he usually, when there's an opportunity to dig in to what Garcelle was expressing, he changes the subject because he's uncomfortable too. As a white man, he's uncomfortable and don't even know what to do with this lady's feelings too. It was really hard to watch. So I was glad she left. Porito did not eat. Everybody's like, oh my God, Porito owned this season. Porito owned this reunion. And all I saw was an angry white woman, a bitter ass, angry white woman who's obviously hangry, needs to eat a cheeseburger, put the cigarettes down, and perhaps drink some water because whatever she's on, she's coming down hard. Okay? And it's not a good look to empower a Karen like Porito. And somebody mentioned in their life, they were like, not having Porito between two housewives enabled her even further because with her only having to look over to Andy, who's always just like, yeah, do some more, show your ass some more, bitch, show your ass some more. She thought she was really doing something. How did they let her talk for 45 minutes, Emmanuel? The whole second reunion. How did that happen? How did you feel about the second reunion go and Porito's performance?
She was doing too much. Too much. Too performative. Wanted to have a viral moment. And she was just annoying. But at the same time, Sutton didn't stand up for herself, so it is what it is.
Right. Sutton can't stand up for herself.
Right.
And I'm glad Garcelle stopped, you know?
Yeah. And I'm really like trying to hear y'all's perspective because after the episode, I kept thinking to myself, what is it about what just happened that like doesn't sit well with me? And I'm trying to like process what y'all have been saying about Garcelle's entire tenure on the show. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's important because that probably led to her making that decision. Because I'm going to be totally 100% honest. When it happened, I wasn't a fan of it. Because you guys, let's keep it real. Y'all didn't like Phaedra skipping the reunion. I'm also not a person that's like a fan of leaving or quitting. Now, granted, she did say the whole reunion. So I don't know why Dorit said that was unprofessional. Because
Mm-hmm.
she was professional. She stayed. They made it seem like she was gonna leave, but she didn't. She stayed. But I don't know. I just kept thinking to myself, does someone really have the right to talk all they want on their confessionals, and then when they're called out at the reunion, now they all of a sudden they want to quit?
So you felt like, so because there's that narrative going around too, that, oh, she is a confessional gangster and doesn't say anything to the ladies to their face. And now she's in the hot seat and she can't take it. So she's leaving. No, she took it for 5 years. She was never supposed to be in the hot seat even this season. They all came in and said they were going after Sutton. Then everybody turned to Garcelle and was like, what are you doing? And then they even asked Garcelle how to, about Sutton's behavior, like assigning Garcelle's the purveyor of Sutton. You know what I mean? Um, but that's a good observation because people do feel like she's a confessional gangster. I feel like she says what she needs to say to who she needs to say it to, and she doesn't need to tell Erica to her face, fuck you, because Erica would want her to do that. Erica would need Garcelle to say fuck you, because then that puts Erica automatically as a victim against this evil black lady. And that was part of Garcelle's magic to me, is that she never gave them what they wanted. They poked at her, they gaslit her, they prodded her, they triangulated her many times, and she never gave them an angry black woman. She never lost composure once in front of them. But a lot like if you were at a regular job, you're not going to sit in the office and cry all fucking day, unless you're a white lady. You're going to sit in the office and, you see what I'm saying? But when
Yeah.
you're a black lady, you're not going to sit in the office and cry all day. They don't fucking care. So why would she cry to these ladies about, as the cry isn't as much as fuck you, you're a bitch. That would just be her buying into what they wanted her to do, which is make her angry. I'm not going to give you the pleasure of seeing that you made me angry if I know that's what your intention was. So I get the power in that case. However, in reality TV, people do appreciate a person that can say F you to your face and F you behind the scenes.
Right.
And I appreciate a person that doesn't give a bitch what she wants.
Well, I agree with it. And I will say, I think that Garcelle isn't like your typical reality TV show star. Like, I think she was real. Like, the Garcelle that was on the show was
Mm-hmm.
the real Garcelle.
Right.
So I get that element, but at the same time, like, for example, when Andy was like, why don't you want to answer any more questions? For her to say, oh, no one smiled at me. Like, really?
You know, okay, and I feel like she probably said more than that, just like Jennifer Tilly says. I feel like there was a lot more said that got cut out. And even that part about what Kimpire allegedly heard was said, they were speculating that that part could have got taken out because it could potentially be a form of libel or defamation. And that puts them in the hot seat for leaving those words in there. So, but Bozo made it clear that she thought legal action should have been taken, but stopped short of them showing that she said it's defamation. So I thought that was interesting. Um, she stayed the whole entire reunion. A photo, I don't think it says in the contract that you have to be there for a class photo. Um, for Porrito, who had the people waiting 2 hours to put a scarf on last year and glue a baby hair to her
True.
forehead. That was unprofessional.
That
Just
was
like it was unprofessional when she was in the weren't they on like a trip one time and she was upstairs taking pictures in Chanel with the lighting of the window and everybody else was
Mm-hmm.
waiting down. So she's the one. So it's weird. Um, and they proved her point. They don't smile at her. They don't have grace for her. They don't care about her. They don't like her. Not even enough to walk after her, including Andy Cohen. And he even walked after Mia the first time she left the stage.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right.
He's walked after a number of
And
housewives.
Teresa.
Yep. And he didn't walk after Garcelle, and she never leaves. And even if it was over, I'm surprised that he didn't. His producer didn't. They usually want to pick up the cameras, and you know what I'm saying. I'm surprised he didn't use that as a moment, and that's probably why people are speculating that she may have had some type of conversation with him prior to the reunion, and they both knew she had checked out. And I'm saying she came in with the fuck it's. I could clearly tell she was done. She looked great, but there was like a energy over her where she was the calmness had a storm underneath where she was like, I bet she was looking for one thing, and I think Kyle was her litmus test on the reunion. And when she looked at Kyle and said, "Oh, hi Kyle, you look great," and Kyle walked past her and didn't say anything, and she was like, "Oh, here we go, here we go."
Yeah, because from part one to part two, you can see it very clearly how her energy and her spirit, like it just changed.
Yes.
It was very
Yes.
noticeable.
Right.
But you
And
know what? Garcelle was good. She had a good run. I'm glad she knew when to walk out because a lot of these people don't know when to walk out, i.e.,
Mhm.
Dory, Kyle, Erica. Um. Oh, by the way, remember I told you about that interview that Carlos did with Cynthia and Crystal?
Yes.
So I was watching it, and they were having a pretty good conversation just about Atlanta, Beverly Hills, reality TV, all of this stuff. Crystal said that now that she's really good friends with Cynthia, she's been rewatching or watching because she's never seen it, The Real Housewives of Atlanta from season
Yeah.
1 all the way to now. And she said after seeing that, and Cynthia said this too, she said none of the Beverly Hills housewives would last a day in Atlanta. And you want to know what Carlos King said?
Good.
He said he thinks the only one that could last would be Erica.
Carlos King is delusional. Like his whole theory about force multiplier being Giselle, being like he always picks the wrong one to me. So that's just another one of his wrong statements. Like he thinks he knows everything
Oh
because he
yes,
was
yes, yes. And he thinks that Kyle's one of the most iconic housewives. So that tells
right.
you everything you need to know.
Exactly. Exactly. And he thinks that people who give us fake on TV are the realest. And I'm like, because how can Giselle be the force multiplier when she's nothing like she is in real life? You see what I'm saying? So is that reality or are you an
Right.
unscripted actress?
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I feel like he likes people who are willing to work for production and do nasty stuff.
And it's funny because Cynthia and Crystal asked him to name his favorite housewife from each city. So he said Kyle for Beverly Hills, Larsa for Miami, Teresa for New Jersey, Giselle for Potomac, and Crystal says to him, "Oh, I see you got a type."
No, she didn't.
Yeah, she was dragging him a little bit. I'm telling you, if you have the time, take a look at it. That was pretty good.
I didn't get to watch it yet. I do need to, I like watching all of the things, but they take so long. I'm like, I have shit to do. And when I'm not listening intently, then I miss something. Then I have to listen again and it turns into a 2 hour thing. And so, you know what I mean? So what I've been trying to do, if it's an hour, I put it on 2 times speed,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and just speed it up. But I do have to watch that. And I also have to watch the Nene Leaks, which we can get into. We can segue over to the Nene Leaks and LaChasha interview since we're on Real Housewives of Atlanta for a second. How did you like that interview? Did you see that one too?
Yes, and I caught the shade Nene threw at Candy, where she said she'd rather have Ashley Darby sing at an event.
Yes. I'm not a Candy stan. And I love voices that go, but not the whole time.
Yeah,
Because then some singer's voice that comes out when they hold a longer note. It's not like Billy Goat Gruff the entire time. And I feel like that's what Candy sounds like to me. Even on The Masked Singer, I knew it was Candy because, but she obviously can sing because she has a whole career at it. So I'm not taking nothing away from her, obviously. But and Ashley can't sing for shit. She was doing karaoke great. But I would rather listen to a smoother voice like Ashley. She doesn't have the in there.
yeah.
So I could see how somebody would say that. But who told Ashley to go on damn tour?
I know.
Is this going to be part of her damn storyline next year?
And you see, we were just talking about knowing when to walk away. That's another one that needs to leave.
Yes.
Leave Ashley Darby alone. No Ashley bashing while
Oh
I'm
my
being
God, Sebastian, you
social.
haven't. Well, you've been in Spain, so you might not have seen the footage of Ashley Darby going to nightclubs in Potomac or wherever and singing Roberta Flack very badly. You haven't seen the clips?
No, I haven't seen the clips and I don't need to
Oh,
see them.
oh my gosh. Strumming my pain with his fingers. She was killing us loudly with her song.
Mm-hmm.
It was bad. But Garcelle, dehumanization, she endured it for 5 years. Those bitches don't know what a good thing they had. Because also, for her to have set the stage for the next black woman to come in, only to be attacked by the next black woman every time. Anne Marie and Bozo both tried to make her responsible for what their Karens did. You know what I mean? It's bizarre. I have white friends. Nobody ever tries to make me responsible for their shit.
Right. Me and Sebastian were actually having a conversation about this about a week ago. Um, I think Garcelle also realized, like she said at the end, none of them like me. And I think that became clear. I think when she got onto the show, she was like, okay, I'm getting to know these people. She thought she was friends with Rinna. She knew Denise. And I think maybe she thought eventually down the line she would get to develop organic friendships. But I think she got to a point where she said, okay, I've been on the show 5 years, and
Yeah,
I haven't been able to connect on a deeper level with them. Like they're so super freaking official. And I
right.
think that because me and Sebastian were saying how out of all the housewives that are currently on,
Uh-huh.
probably the most organic friend group is Miami.
Yeah.
Like those women would probably be friends in real life if it wasn't for the show. Whereas Beverly Hills, I don't really ever see Kyle Richards being friends with Garcelle.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or let alone Dorit.
Right. And it's been like that the whole time. You're right. Like they never, for Kyle to sit at this reunion and call her manipulation after 5 years, I was trying to be your friend by manipulating you to shut the F up about me and Morgan off camera. And now I'm saying that was me trying to be a friend to you after 5 years. Really? Really? So your way of finally getting to know me after 5 years is by telling me to not talk about your gay girlfriend who you brought on the show. But we're off camera, so nobody else knows we're trying to be friends. Nobody else knows you see it for me, which is actually another thing that got brought up on another channel is the fact that a lot of people don't, I think it was Broad Bros, you're right, Broad Bros, we're saying that unless the Foxfo 5 are in a scene or unless the Foxfo 5 are messing with you, then the viewers don't want to see the scene or aren't messing with you. So because specifically the Foxfo 5 never warmed up to Garcelle or had it for her in any positive kind of way, by proxy, the viewers are like, oh, why is she here? What is she mucking up the joint for? What, you know what I mean? And so for Kyle to not put it on camera that she's cool with Garcelle, but then say to Garcelle's friend off camera, yeah, right. Nope, that was manipulation. And that's part of Kyle's plan too, is to alienate you on camera where she knows where it counts, but off camera, oh, I called you. Oh, so everything can be a soundbite later. I'm just glad she's gone. Kyle needs to go. I don't think we should have one more season of Kyle getting to be like, oh, I talked to my daughters about my sexuality without actually saying I'm gay. It's weird. It's weird. And we've been talking about it for 3 years. I keep telling you guys, Google it. Google right now, Kyle Richards Morgan BravoCon 2022. They were together at the BravoCon in 2022. Before all of this news broke, before we found out about anything. So if it's for a documentary or for a bisexual storyline, we're in 2025 and we still don't have any clarity from her and we don't have any clarity from Erica about major stories in their life. But Garcelle is uninteresting. That's why she had to leave. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Okay, let's take that off. Oh, it stays up there. How do I take it off? I take it right here. No, this right here. Stop sharing. Oh, there it is. This restream is pretty nice. I like it. You guys like the graphics on here? I like it. So, and
Yeah.
then restream, it's free, and you can on their free plan, you can I'm streaming this to my Twitch and to my YouTube, and you can have like 3 streams for free. You can have 6 guests, these great graphics. I can add my intro like I did without having to play it on a separate thing. So yeah, I'm really with this restream. I really, really, really like it. And if I would have toggled the thing, you guys can share it to your channels. So just like in Restream, in StreamYard, there's that version. Okay, let's move on to Brit. I like Brit. I'm not mad at Brit. I don't think that Brit on Real Housewives of Atlanta um, got a fair shake. I do think that she was spot on in the energy that she was getting from Ken. And she felt like Ken was poking her. And that can be done energetically. Women know, we know, just like how Kyle said, women are snakes. We know a snaky bitch when we see one, we feel it. Our spidey senses go up. And we're like, ooh, that bitch is shading me. She's being cold towards me. She gave 2 air kisses to that girl and only gave me 1 air kiss. Oh, I see. Uh-huh. Oh, and when she's standing over there, she's looking at me laughing with those other bitches. Okay, I see. So there could have been a lot of things happening that the eighth housewife didn't allow us to see that could have warranted the testing that we saw happening with Britt Edie towards Kenya that makes people call her obsessed. And I'm saying, you guys got it wrong. Anybody that thinks Britt is obsessed with Ken needs to rewatch because the only person that had poster boards in a dossier was Ken. That's obsession, bitch. So, um, and Ken ruined her own event. She's supposed to be going live tonight. Did you guys know Ken has a YouTube channel? And she's supposed to be
Mm-hmm.
going, yep, supposed to be going live tonight to tell her side some more about these lies. When Michelle A.T. Alien was on the scene the day it happened 9 months ago, we heard about the revenge porn. There was penises shown, all kind of stuff. Ken came out and said everybody was lying
Yes.
and that she would be vindicated.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's 10 months later. We've seen the episode. We saw what led up to it. She's not vindicated in my POV. What about you?
Absolutely not. First of all, she had promised. She's not even consistent. She had promised her fans she was going to go live on Tuesday. Then she changed it to Friday. But you're right. I've come to realize that a lot of these Kenya Moore fans are concerning. I'm kind of concerned.
Concerning.
Like it's concerning that these people are out here. You're right, Curse. I remember when this happened, and when people were talking about it on their channels. People will go on these panels and be like, "Oh, I'm a Kenya fan. Kenya would never do that. Kenya would
Yes. Oh my
never
God.
ruin her event like that. She's smarter than that." Well, apparently not. Kenya's not a victim. I don't feel bad for her, and I'm with you. I'm Team Brit for now. Especially after last episode, she has a
Oh,
right
completely.
to. You're right. Why are people acting like energies aren't a real thing? We can feel people's
Mm-hmm.
energies, and we know when they're being dismissive or when they're just not being receptive to us. So that's number one. Number two, you're right. For Kenya to go out of her way to find all of this for someone you just met is crazy. But it speaks to Kenya Moore. It speaks to Kenya Moore. And why is she always slut shaming people? She slut shamed Marlo, Britt. It's kind of weird.
Marlo, Britt, Portia, Tanya. I mean, insert females twat here. She just is, she's not, I don't know, she's not twat friendly. I'm positive her and Mark did never have sex. She got pregnant with the turkey baster. I don't think that she's ever, I don't know. She's so anti-sexual that I don't believe she even had sex to have Brooklyn.
Right, and that's what I'm telling you. Some of these Kenya fans are so ridiculous. I was on a panel the other day, taking up for Brit or whatever. One of
Mhm.
these Kenya fans says to me, "Oh, you're uplifting the patriarchy by supporting Brit." I was like, "What? If
What?
anything, Kenya's supporting the patriarchy because she shames women for their
Yeah,
sexual activity."
I agree. That's crazy. So they think that you are upholding patriot. Did they explain how?
No,
No.
it
You
was
know
in one of
why?
those.
Because they were talking out the side of their neck. They wouldn't have been able to explain it. How
Yeah.
are you supporting a woman who was slut shamed and had revenge porn against her with her business slandered and her reputation screwed, supporting patriarchy? That's so weird. That's really interesting. You're right. They're Delulu. They're Delulu. And I have this picture again because she went to war and it cost her because she approached it all wrong. I don't know why she thought calling people pedophile, that's been being done since Luann called uh, Carol Radswell a pedophile for dating that 2-year-old or whatever that guy was. Remember, she was dating that toddler? Remember, she had that live in toddler?
Mm-hmm.
And so Luann was jealous and calling her a pedophile because Luann couldn't snatch anybody out the crib. Remember, she was hating. And so we've had the P word come up before, and we're going to get to Real Housewives of Salt Lake City next. But so like that could have been done, but nobody's ever done revenge porn. I don't know why she thought that was going to be an acceptable clapback to a pow pow mention when she had a pow pow in her closet with Brandon, literally threatening by name Phaedra, talking
Mm-hmm.
about putting hot ones in Phaedra's ass or something, while showing us she could have done it with her Glock and her cartridge on the ready. But this lady can't mention a pow pow. I don't know. I don't know. It's a lot of Delulu. I think Ken might think she's white, you guys.
She
But
has Karen tendencies.
she does. That is straight Karen behavior. Like I'm the
Yeah.
only one that gets one.
Well, don't
Yeah.
forget Curves. I remember. I think it might have been last season. That girl who was on as a friend of, they let her go real quick. Her name was Courtney. I don't know if you watched last season, but she came out on a podcast and she said that the behind the scenes, to see the way Kenya speaks to production and to the crew is disgusting. They say she is so rude to them. And I believe it because we've seen little clips of her talking to her employees like back in the day. And she was very rude to them too. So I don't like that.
Interesting. And Patrick, you know that Patrick producer who quit and said Garcelle is a dream to work with. I wonder has him or his team ever worked with Ken? And maybe she was one of the people he was talking about who production doesn't like when they have to go to her house.
Right. And he's worked on Married to Medicine, right?
Right. He worked on Married to Medicine. He worked on Real Housewives of Atlanta, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and on some of our other stuff. Back, Allie, what happened? Where you go? It disappeared. I'm not sure what happened. Come back. There was a little feedback, but come back. Um, oh, there she is. I think. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this little back office thing is so cute back here. Right on. Hey, Allie from Miami. Thanks for coming up. You have thoughts?
Yes, I'm going to be real quick, but I have some thoughts. I don't know if you saw, I sent you a DM that I saw on Twitter from Lisa Vanderpump about Garcelle. She's pretty much said everything I've been saying about Garcelle. So it'd be cool if you just show that real quick if you have
Yeah,
time.
let me get to that. Let's see. I'm gonna pull that up. Keep talking.
And in the meantime, with Brit and Kenya's situation, I am exhausted with it, okay? Because I could go back and forth about the whole thing. What Kenya did was
cut out or did my thing freeze?
I think she was
Hello?
drunk.
I can hear you, Manuel. I can't hear you anymore, Allie.
Her
Oh,
thing
it's
is
saying you
off
want
right
to
now.
join. Okay, add to stream. Yeah, you keep dropping, Allie. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on. Continue.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, so I think she's wrong. I think, Kenya had 1,001 ways to handle the situation, and she chose the wrong one. But I do feel like Brit is giving Kenya too much energy. I really kind of wish she kind of did Kenya like how Candy did Phaedra. Stop talking about Kenya. Stop giving her every interview. Just don't call that woman name out of your mouth because Kenya needs to stay trending. And the more Brit talks about Kenya, keeps Kenya being trending. Keeps Kenya being trending.
Hello?
She dropped again, I think.
Okay. So here's what she was talking about. Lisa Vanderpump says the only one I really liked on the show was Garcelle. I have a good relationship with her. Now it's time for her to move on, she tells us weekly. She was somebody before and she'll be somebody after. Not, oh, here it is. Not everybody's like that. A lot of people are defined by housewives. Ooh, that was a little bit of a burn, Lisa. Mm.
It's a shame we
Great.
never got to see them on the show. That would have been something nice.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And even that time, didn't they go to Vegas once? They should have, if she could have like just went and had a scene with Lisa by herself, that would have been so iconic, you know?
Yeah.
On the Housewives, not on Lisa Vanderpump's show, but on the Housewives, that would
Right.
have been
Yeah.
iconic.
They did a scene on Vanderpump, but if they would have done one on Beverly Hills, that would have been. I remember the first time Garcelle mentioned Vanderpump that she was friends with her, and remember how all the other women were so like upset about that.
Yes, it was hilarious. They were not happy campers. Now, okay, we're going to go here. Look, I just got news, you guys, because I have been checking this for some time. Let me like this so I can go back and watch it. Damn, DoorDash guy almost got sniped, you guys. But I have been watching Garcelle's follows to see if she was still following the people or if she was really off of these bitches. And as of yesterday, she was still following them. But I just got word that we might have to check who she following. Okay, I'm following her. So now do I have to make this? Oh, here it is. Following. She's following 2,000 people. So we're going to type in some names here and see who comes up. Suttonst. Is Sutton Strack no longer her friend, you guys? You see that?
Oh, she's not on the list.
Yeah. Sutton Strack's no longer on the list.
Mm,
So she was there yesterday. Okay, my thing is spinning a lot. I have a lot of things open. Please don't freeze. Please.
wait,
The
wait
other
a minute. So do we think? Okay, with knowing what we know now, does this mean Erica was correct when she told Garcelle that being friends with Sutton was a liability? Could there have been some truth in that?
Yeah, and the truth will set you free. But yeah, because they made it a liability. They saw to it that her being Sutton's friend was a liability. They made it so. Uh-oh, it's doing it again. Can you guys hear me still though?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because it is not letting me show the screen. Damn. Okay, so I'm going to keep on. Oh no, I don't want to close the whole thing because you guys are in my Firefox too. But so Sutton is off the list. I'm going to check on my phone and we're going to keep it moving. But she unfollowed Bose. She unfollowed Erica. I swear, on my live the other day that got blocked because I was doing too much, we checked who she was still following and the people came up. Right now, she's no longer following Bozo, the Puss Patter, Corrido, Vile, or Strat. She's only following Tilly and Kathy.
Mm.
And I say good riddance. The riddance are good and appropriate. Good for you, Garcelle. Yeah, don't even play. Don't even play. Oh, I love it. I don't know why that makes me happy. That makes me happy. But I can't stop sharing this right now. I don't know why. Damn. Okay, wait a minute, you guys. Wait. As long as you guys can still hear me, I don't know why it's tripping. Actually, I do. Wait. As long as you guys can still hear me, let's move on. So, next, Monica Garcia had a baby, y'all,
With who?
with her boyfriend. So she met a guy on set her season, or she was on 2 seasons or 1 season. She was on, and she met a man on their cast trip. And actually, they got pregnant before, and the baby passed, and she had a miscarriage. And now they just had a little baby girl yesterday. Let me go over here. And she had put it on her Instagrams. Let me check it. I think it's a little girl. It's his first, her fifth. And she is so excited to welcome. Yep, it's a little girl. Yep. And it's a little girl. Just had her yesterday. Congratulations to Monica Garcia. And I think her baby daddy's name is Brett or something like that. Yep, their daughter. And she only gets fat in her stomach. So she has a good snatch back body. And now she has 2 baby daddies, you guys. She has 2 baby daddies. And all girls. She don't have no boys. Oh my gosh. 5 girls, right? Wow.
Those are her
Bless her heart.
genes. Her genes don't allow her to have boys, probably.
Isn't it
But I
3
thought
baby daddies?
I thought all her kids are by her first husband.
Yeah, that's what I thought
No, I think
too.
the first one, the older one, was by another guy, and then she got with her ex-husband. Because I could have sworn they had a conversation about like, oh, he took her in when she was a baby.
Let's see. I'm going
I
to Google it.
think.
Monica baby daddy situation. Number of baby daddies for Monica. Monica Garcia. How many baby daddies? Baby.
Sebastian.
Baby daddies. There it is. Sebastian, are you still here?
I am here.
Okay.
Sebastian, we're never being the allegations.
What allegations?
The kids.
Who has kids allegations?
Never mind, I'll tell you later.
What
Monica
allegations?
Garcia. Monica Garcia and boyfriend Braxton Knight welcome their new baby. Monica has 4 daughters with her ex-husband Mike Fowler, and she announced her pregnancy with baby number 5. After this is their rainbow baby. Yep, this is their rainbow baby, and she's 40, so this was a full-on geriatric pregnancy. Yeah, actually, they'd be acting like 34-year-old wombs or geriatric, you guys. I feel like that's very disgusting. How are you making us geriatric at 30? Like, that's supposed to be prime, you know? But yeah, so there's that. Oh, Meredith Marks, the rumors about the husbands. The rumors about the husbands. Okay? So rumor has it, Meredith Marks, you know how they had her quinceañera, not a quinceañera, they had a bat mitzvah for her last year, you guys. And her bat mitzvah was because she said she wanted to have a bat mitzvah because of the rise of anti-Semitism. Like, I don't know how identifying yourself as the most recent group for Target makes it safer, but she, in her mind, needed to assign herself to that group so she could fully benefit from identifying there. So I'm not sure. I'm not. The reason she said for doing it was because the rise of anti Semitism. I don't know why most people, finally have their baptisms, but
Mm-hmm.
usually it's a spiritual awakening, or at least in my case, when I got baptized, it was because I wanted to be closer to God. I wanted to have that protection and that bond. It wasn't because I wanted to, um, because of anti something. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just,
Right.
but everybody can do what you want. What are your guys' thoughts?
Propaganda.
Propaganda. Okay.
I wish we had a Palestinian housewife.
Oh my God.
Well,
You
we
know, we
almost
actually
did.
did.
We almost did. Kenya's friend
Who?
Akila. Kenya's friend Akila is half Palestinian and half African
Oh, I
American.
don't like her. Never mind then, because
Oh,
that
the
girl is
pastor's
a.
wife. Shireen is Palestinian, you guys.
Who?
Shireen
Apollo's?
is Palestinian. Yes, Shireen is full-fledged Palestinian.
Who?
Okay.
Where?
I
Apollo's
I
wife,
I
Shireen.
I knew she wasn't
On
black,
what
but I knew she
show?
wasn't white either.
On Real Housewives of Atlanta or Married to Medicine, Apollo Nida's wife, Shireen, is Palestinian.
Really?
Yes, check her
That explains a
IG.
lot because I used to think I that explains a lot because like how Arabs have this is not generalizing them, by the way. I love Arabs, trust me, I really do. Um, but like there's times where you could like think that they're just mixed race,
Yeah,
but
Right.
they're not. Like you get what I
right.
mean? So I
Kind of
thought that was the
Larsa,
case.
kind of like Larsa.
Right.
Yeah.
People would think
Yes,
Larsa's
exactly.
mixed, but she's not.
Right.
She's just Middle Eastern North African.
Yep. So, yeah, so we actually have had a Palestinian on and around, but that could be why they're not really highlighting her in the winter. I don't know, but because I still think Dubai got canceled because so many people over there support Palestine, you know,
And
and
they were doing fundraisers. They were doing so many things. Those women,
yep,
they were
they were
doing a lot.
very they were very active in their support of a free um, Palestine, very, very, and I swear I do. I swear I feel like that's why they got canceled. And plus because the temperature over there, getting us over there to like film and stuff with 45 back in office might be off the table. But I don't know how they knew that because he wasn't even in office when they decided to pause this shit. So that's why I also feel like it has everything to do with the climate over there.
He wasn't even elected.
Yes, because he wasn't even elected. So it had to do with the already climate over there. In my opinion, I don't know. I don't know everything. But on Salt Lake City, I do know that Meredith Marks, the rumors about Meredith Marks, is that Brit, yes, another Brit, came in hot and she pulled out not a pow pow, but a sign that said free parking or something. Allegedly, she had a sign that said free mattresses. No, because you know how they called Meredith a mattress. She had a sign that said free something with a P. And Meredith Marks didn't have her glasses on or a hearing aid in. I don't know which one. But she got very misunderstood and thought the sign said Free Palestine and allegedly went ballistic. Ballistic on Brit. Ballistic. Called her all kinds of anti-Semites, said she supports terrorists and baby killers and pedophiles and called her a pedophile. And then allegedly there was some type of physical kerfuffle altercation between the two, provoked by Meredith's misinformation that Brit had a sign that said Free Palestine, and the sign didn't even say that, y'all. That's what the rumor is on the streets. And so she's been suspended, and rightfully so, because you don't get to go mad because somebody has a free parking sign. And even if the sign said Free Palestine,
She has no reason to get mad, period. You have the right to express your free you have freedom of speech. And it
yes.
can be expressed with words. It can be expressed with words coming verbal words, obviously, and then written. You can express those things. This is something. This is you can express that at all times. As long as she did not get violent towards Meredith or anything, Meredith has no reason to be doing all this sugar honey iced tea.
Well, this is Curves already said it, but just to read it again from the original thing, it said Meredith Marks allegedly went into a blind rage on the Real Houses of Salt Lake City cast trip after thinking a free parking sign said Free Palestine. Here's another thing. 4 cast members have sustained injuries, including Brittany.
4?
Uh-huh.
What did Meredith do?
That's what I'm thinking. My guess is maybe she must have started throwing things. I mean, or something. Maybe a table. Something happened. Because after that, because another version of the rumor was that everybody had been suspended. So that could explain maybe they stopped filming because I don't know. But something definitely happened.
Oh my gosh. Because in Salt Lake City, those racist bitches love throwing shit. Remember Jenny Wynn was throwing glasses at Mary Cosby that year?
Yo.
Jen
No one
Shaw.
defended Mary either. No one defended Mary.
Yeah, I'm telling you, black women in white spaces are not safe. Ask that lady who went to the slumber party and woke up dead at the bottom of the freaking balcony, and all the white ladies politely went home and then called the police and said their black friend was dead at the bottom of the balcony. Left the premises. You know that story. I told you guys about that story. She went to a grown black woman went to the slumber party with 6 or 7 white ladies and woke up dead. Yep. And nobody knows anything, by the way. Because nobody went to check on her. Yeah. So it happens in real life too. Very interesting that Meredith Marks. People are they're jockeying for Meredith the way they were jockeying for Ken. They're like, oh my God. Did you see the comments, Emmanuel, under that post? Can you read some of those comments? My thing is still
Who's
frozen.
defending Meredith like that? Who's defending Meredith with
Oh,
Kenya?
In the comments.
Meredith does not have a fan base compared to Kenya.
Oh my gosh. But she's Jewish, so she does have a fan base. She does. The people who are supporting her anti-Semitic
But this has
claims.
nothing to worry. But the thing is, it never happened though. The whole thing is it's a free parking. A free parking sign does not mean.
But you know that in today's climate, when somebody ushers the word anti-Semitism out their mouth, like it's game over for the other person.
Right. And I don't even like Brit, but I don't know that she's an anti-Semite.
Right. And Curtis, you know who else accused somebody of that?
Who?
Kyle.
Kyle said somebody was AS?
Kyle, yeah, it was back in one of those seasons. It was a lady, I think her name was Carlton.
Oh yeah, the witch.
Yes.
Yes, she sure did. I remember. Kyle was so scared. Remember, Kyle got sick and thought she had a curse put on her, and that's why the lady couldn't come back. Kyle was very upset. But Meredith Marks should be put on pause. I don't know that the comments under there supporting her, like you said, she doesn't have really like a super big fan base. I feel like the people chiming in are supporters of her religion, perhaps, because you're right. Like who likes freaking Meredith Marks? She's boring. She doesn't do anything. Her jewelry's dusty. Her fashions are sateen. It's weird. Who's checking for Meredith Marks? Not even Seth.
Oh. Well, I heard another rumor. Oh my God, you guys! I heard another rumor that on this trip, some of the ladies apparently also brought up Seth's mistress. that they were able to find out who she is.
The one in Ohio that he keeps going and laying up under for 2 weeks at a time before he comes back to Meredith's born ass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I knew he had a girlfriend. He looked too happy to leave her side when they were at the casita with Bronwyn last season. He was like, "Oh yeah, she'll be busy here. She won't even notice I'm with my girl." He's like, "Gotta go, Meredith."
Right.
That was bad. I'm not laughing at their demise of their relationship, but I mean, it's obvious there's something going on there. And she's saying that they're in a better place, but I don't think so. And allegedly, Lisa and Heather, Lisa's PI team can get the dirt, man. They can get the dirt. And so I think if anything, Lisa might have done that. Oh, and I think Lisa has everything to do with this story on Bronwyn breaking also.
Mm-hmm.
Lisa and her PI squad. Because she is very much like Ken, where she gets dossiers on new people.
Is Mary still on the show? Because I may have to. Guys, I'm gonna
Yes.
give you guys. I'm gonna tell you guys something. Actually, I got Peacock again, and I'm using a VPN, so I'm gonna be rewatching the seasons that I missed out on.
Okay,
Oh
you need to
yay!
watch the most recent season of Salt Lake City first and foremost because it was a good season,
It
Sebastian.
was good.
It was a good one. I think you should watch.
I'm not watching Atlanta.
Should he watch Potomac Curves, the new season?
No,
Maybe just watch the
no,
The one
reunion.
with Karen getting the DUI.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, you know what? You know what? Watch the reunion because that's where they
yeah.
address all.
Just watch the reunion because that'll be enough. I mean, yeah,
Because I
Potomac, the
remember
whole.
watching like the beginning of it a little bit because I was getting like
Mhm,
there was this website that I was getting a little bit of the beginning where I
yeah,
saw how like when Giselle went to pick up Karen at her house and said we can't talk about these things because of legal reasons and remember that's all I watched. But I honestly I think I'll just watch the reunion because honest the reunion covers the whole seasons anyway. At this point we
Yeah.
should watch the
Yeah.
reunions.
And there
yeah, and
wasn't really
Because
much
I'm
to do
familiar
there.
with the cast already. Like, I don't need to get to know who this Stacy girl is. I don't need to get to know all these people.
right.
Right.
And then the whole season really was them trying to get her to incriminate herself. And yeah,
Right.
that's how I
But I
feel.
did
I
see a
don't know.
clip. I did see a clip of Giselle, and honestly, that clip made me start liking Giselle. Guys, she was going after Mia, saying this season, horrible mother, discussing the paternity of your child
Oh
on
yeah,
the
that's
Yeah,
when
Mia
show.
Mia
quit.
walked out.
Mia quit and moved to Atlanta. Well, actually, she was already in Atlanta. Giselle said at that reunion that she don't even live here. She lives in Atlanta. And then 2 weeks later, Mia was like, "We moved to Atlanta."
That's the thing with Mia. I liked her, but I liked her at the beginning a little bit, and then she became too like inauthentic. One minute she's a stripper, another minute she's a prostitute, another minute she's too many things at once. She's a jack of all trades at
Well,
this
I
point.
like Mia only because I thought her personality was just like crazy. Like it was entertaining to watch. But I think these past two seasons, especially this last season, Sebastian, it was just the lowest of the low. Like bringing the side piece on the camera, filming scenes with him, fighting with Gordon. It was just,
Yeah, it was really, and she was playing in our face so much. So
yeah,
much. They're together. They're not together.
yeah.
They're broke up. And then by the time they got to the reunion, they were broke up. No, were they back together or broke up? And then after she left the reunion, she went and did a podcast with Mini Me. And yeah, I don't know. It's weird. She was just so full of lies. But
Right. Oh, and
yeah.
Sebastian, you might be wondering why did Giselle turn on Mia because they were good friends. Well, what happened was
I heard this story. Please go deep. Give me the good deep dive in
okay,
it.
so this is what happened. So everybody was questioning what the hell's going on with Mia because she would tell the group one thing when they were all together, but then she would post things on social media that just were very opposite to what she had said. Like she's with Gordon, she's not with Gordon. She's with her boyfriend, she's not with her boyfriend. All this stuff. So Giselle, and she does what Giselle does, calls somebody out in front of everybody and says, "What's going on, Mia? Like you keep flip flopping." Anyway, Mia then says to her, well, you want to act like you have the perfect family and you're perfect. Why don't you talk about your girls that sneak in boys to your house when you're not there? And it was kind of messed up because when they were on their cash trip last season, you know the app that you have on your phone, like the Ring camera that shows you who's going into your house.
Yeah.
When they were on their trip, Giselle saw that the twins brought a guy over, and Giselle shared this to Mia, but like it was like innocent. She was like, "Oh my god, look!" But this was totally off camera, so Mia brought it up on camera and like tried to make her daughters look like
Sluts.
Whores.
like little
Tried to
whores.
make them
Yeah.
look like little Mias.
But the thing is, they're young kids. They like
Well,
they.
they're in college. Yeah, yeah, they're young. They're young. They just started college.
I mean, they just started college. Like, it's not like if the twins brought a guy over. You said one guy. It's not like they're both doing stuff with him. Like, it could just be a
Yeah.
friend. People,
Right.
you don't have to have friends of the same sex.
Right.
Right.
And they're good girls anyway. I don't think that they were
They're
like
good girls.
dropping it
We do
low and
not
spreading
Yeah,
it
they
wide.
are. And
we
I
don't
think that
hear of them getting we've had a lot of bad stuff about some of these housewives children. One of
Mhm.
them, remember the OC housewife, I forgot her name, Lori Peterson.
Oh
Yes, her son.
yeah.
Yo, we've heard
Yeah.
crazy stuff. We have not heard anything about Giselle's children at
Right.
all.
and I also think the
No.
fact that the guy went to the house is like better than them sneaking out
Oh,
someone
imagine if
else.
they went to right.
Yeah.
Right. At
So that
least it's
was
safer.
low. Like even for Mia, I think even for Mia, but it was weird with Giselle because she almost didn't have a reaction when Mia said it at first. It
Hmm.
wasn't until the
Shock,
reunion.
shock,
I know, right? Like, and
shock is real.
and like she actually like just kind of kept it
Because
moving.
her colorism didn't know what to do.
That might be it,
Because
because yeah,
because the woman lighter than her was saying
Oh,
some
they're
messed up
so
stuff to her, she was able to she didn't know how to have a response. But had Candace or Wendy, since she was already on high defense with them because of her colorism tendencies, she hears through defense. But when a light skinned devil like freaking Mia says this to her, she literally sat there like she was speaking like she didn't hear nothing. It was so weird.
yeah.
Even as a viewer, we were like, she didn't even react. She didn't say nothing. And then later, she still didn't go off on Mia the way she would have on Candace or on Wendy. And
Or
Wendy
Monique.
even mentioned it. Yep. And Wendy even mentioned it.
Yeah.
She said, I had a look on my face and you didn't talk to me for a season. She called your daughter a whore and you guys are going out for margaritas?
Oh my. But I will say it's probably the shock, guys. Literally, honestly,
Yeah,
Mia's
you might be right. I don't think she would have ever expected Mia to say that. So maybe she was
right, especially
shocked.
Mia, who's known for sleeping around, getting paid to sleep around, paid to take her clothes off and dance on a pole.
But you know what's special? As I'm thinking about it, so Mia says, why don't you worry about your daughter? So you told me they were sneaking in boys. And Giselle, like, she actually laughed about it. She was like, oh, yeah. Yeah, one time. I caught them on the ring cam one time. So
Yeah,
maybe she
and
had a delayed reaction. I don't know.
which is interesting for Giselle because, like I said, she stays ready for certain people. So I don't know. I don't know. What else about Potomac happened that he should see?
Well, Wendy and Giselle made up. Wendy had a good season. She didn't have issues with nobody. They celebrated her, which I think was good because she was, she definitely went through a lot the past 2 seasons. Even though I'm not a fan of her, but she had a good season. Ashley, nothing, nothing, nothing interesting.
Nothing.
Leave,
And we're
leave her
introduced to a
alone.
new housewife, Sebastian. Her name is Stacy.
The one that I haven't seen clips of. I don't really like her like that.
She's
Well, she came on with the Walter.
yeah, she's
With
like
the
a
what?
Kenya Moore in some ways.
Not nasty. She's like the polar opposite Kenya Moore. So Kenya Moore is her evil twin, and Stacey Rouge is the light
Yes,
side. Yes, and
literally.
but she still has like some kind of like fake guys and questionable storyline. But she's super sunshine and glitter comes out of her butt. It's like weird. She's very happy. I like her. But that TJ guy, man,
Oh,
we
is
should
this
have
a
known.
Tanya situation? Is this another Tanya?
Tanya and well, mm, possibly, possibly, just
Oh.
because that guy Tanya was with, it didn't really seem like a good fit. But they had been together for a while before the show. Whereas this guy and her, they worked together before the show, and then she gets on the show and she's like, "Oh, this is my best friend slash something TJ." And then he, after the season, was like, "Oh, I got receipts," but he hasn't dropped them yet.
Wait, Sebastian, why don't you want to watch Roa?
I don't want to watch it. I just feel like it's just it's too much.
Well, and I'm kind of going off of something Ali had said before she dropped off when she said she wants like Brit to stop talking about Kenya. I actually saw an interview that Brit did. I might have been like yesterday, where she said like they're going to get over this. She said that we're gonna get to see so much more to her, and like they're gonna have a lot of fun. So we're definitely going to get over this whole like Kenya drama, dark
Yeah,
cloud that's happening right now. So that'll be good.
right. And I
I
think you
don't
should
know.
watch.
I've been
So
not liking Roa. I'm gonna tell you when I've stopped liking Roa. Honestly, I will say this, and Curve is gonna be so happy when I say it because I used to drag this person a lot. But just to be fair and truthful, Roa has been sinking ship ever since Nene left.
woohoo!
Oh
You're
yes.
right. That did make me happy.
Um, it's been sinking ship, and I don't think like till we have the three necessary housewives on Roa that I say are necessary, and I know people are gonna get mad. Till it's Nene, Phaedra, and
Yes.
Kenya, to all three of them on that show, Roa is not going to be improving anytime soon. It has to be that three, and then you can put that three, and then you can put oh geez, we don't need Cynthia more. We do not need her. Portia's not really that necessary. It's that three that's necessary. That
Well, I
three.
would have agreed. I would have agreed before Phaedra left Married to Medicine the way she left Real Housewives of Atlanta, which is a liar still. So,
Oh, she
and
hasn't changed.
not at all. Oh my God, she left the biggest liar on Married to Medicine and tried to throw Dr. Heavenly and all the doctors under the bus like they were mean girls. And the whole time she had been plotting with Apollo to get him on the show, and then blamed everybody else and said they were mean girls and had set her up. But then Dr. Heavenly had talked to Carlos King, and he was like, "Well, if you're going to do it, you need to get it on camera." And so Phaedra didn't know that she was on camera when Dr. Heavenly called and said, "Oh, Apollo's coming to the thing. Do you mind?" And she said, "Nah, girl, do your thing. I know everything that he be talking about. I already know, girl." And so she didn't know that was on camera, right? So then she tried to start saying that Dr. Heavenly had invited Apollo by herself, like she didn't know he was coming. And the eighth housewife rolled the the eighth housewife rolled the tape on that ass and got up there saying, "Oh yeah, girl. Well, and well, what they showed us was her say, "Well, surprise us, or surprise them, or something." But what Dr. Heavenly said in her Patreon was her exact words were, "Oh, girl, I already know everything he already does. I already know." So yeah, but she sure did try to pull it. Oh, and then she called the ladies of Married to Medicine, said they were trash
She
and
read them, Sebastian. That's another show you should catch up with this season of Married to Medicine because it
yeah,
was drama.
it was a lot of drama.
I don't like that Phaedra does this shit. I really
Look,
don't.
hold on.
Honestly,
Let me look it for it. I need to show you. Hold on.
Phaedra is just. I thought she
Right.
would change. I really did think she would change, but if she's not going to change, like
No. And now she has an established pattern. So she left Real Housewives
you
of
know who I
Atlanta.
used to love on Atlanta, but she only
Who?
had one season. That
Who?
girl, even though she was always drunk most of the time, but she was good.
Who?
Um,
Shami, the one that was Belle Biv DeVoe's wife.
yes,
Yeah,
I
she was
remember.
good.
I remember at a Watch What Happens live, and he was like, one of the questions was, "Who do you think is the shadiest housewife?" And then Shamia was like, "Uh, well, I was gonna say, uh, Marlo, but she's not a housewife. And then I was like, oh, you go, girl.
Was hilarious.
People were like
Uh-uh.
dying. I remember her. She was so good for the show. And
Yeah,
honestly,
Married to Medicine would be good. Oh, but back to Atlanta. I think you should watch Atlanta. Um, I'm with you. I stopped watching 12th season after she shut her computer, the wonderful Nene Leakes. After that all went to shit and she had tried to go through the proper channels and all that stuff, I still feel like nothing's gonna good happen on the Titanic until Nene comes back. Ken
Right.
sunk the ship further.
no,
Favor
Ken needs to be there too. Nene and Ken needs to be
No,
there.
because Ken, I don't feel like Ken should ever be on TV again, though. She does. She should not get a redemption arc for putting revenge porn up about Brit. That should not be stood for. She
It
should
would not
never.
revenge P. If it
She,
was revenge P, there would be charges be put
Oh,
out.
well, there are. That's the thing. There are. So the investigation is why Brit's still on TV and Ken is off. Ken went to HR about Brit. Brit went to her lawyer about Ken. Ken's off the show. Brit's on the show. Brit can still press charges on Ken if she doesn't STFU and sit down somewhere.
mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's different when things that were readily available online.
But hold on, before we move on, I just wanted to play this real quick so Sebastian could hear what Phaedra said. Look, listen to this.
Okay.
What have you learned from your time with the ladies? That they're trash. Oh, so I'm not going to be able to say that I enjoyed anything about this group because I feel like they're demonic minions of hell. They're those bitches, those mean, angry black women who are mean to other black women because they fat, they funny looking. You know what I'm saying? They're just jealous and hateful. I don't see a future with these ladies because they don't like me. And I like people who like me. And I don't try to participate in spaces that I'm not welcomed in. So I'm very happy to be leaving. I'm ecstatic.
Yeah. So that was Phaedra's final words on Marriage to Medicine.
And it's just so weird that she even, that's not what we saw happen. But they sure did let her leave like that and gave her that as a last edit.
That's
And
so
Andy,
wrong. That Phaedra was Phaedra's a problem. I don't think she should be able to say that because Phaedra always be acting like an angry black woman all the time too. If we want to be
thank
honest,
you.
No, listen,
if
but
we want to
okay,
be honest, she does. Am I
okay,
not
She
wrong? Am I
does.
wrong, Curbs?
No, you're not, because I agree.
She has
Phaedra,
okay,
like
that was
guys,
the pot calling the kettle black.
what is
Let
the
me give you guys the
difference?
rundown. Whoa, wait. Let me just give you the rundown on the pot calling the Phaedra black, okay? Because she left Real Housewives of Atlanta, calling her used to be best friend Candy a graper and a drugger, saying that she wanted to do it to Frack, who was also her friend, so she damaged both of them, right? Then she gets put on hiatus or benched, as people like to say, for however long.
almost
Then
10
Real
years.
Housewives of Dubai came out. On Real Housewives of Dubai, she reached out to Caroline Brooks and Chanel Ayan and was like, "Can I meet with you guys?" And met with them in Dubai and said she was planning on buying property and asked them, can they get her on the show? They acquiesced. They let her do a couple of scenes with them before the first time they got paused, remember? And she's like, that's when she called Real Housewives of Atlanta Real Housewives of the Titanic and said she would never go back to that sinking ship. Remember? So then she
Yeah,
goes and
because
does the
she's living her life on the her yacht in Dubai, and
right,
Miami will
exactly.
be going down like the Titanic. I remember that.
Exactly.
Michael Rappaport
Remember?
when he was filling in for Wendy Williams.
Yes, remember? So then she left that show, goes to Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip and BravoCon that summer. At BravoCon, they say, who's the most irrelevant franchise or housewife or something? She names the two ladies that got her on Real Housewives of Dubai. So this is an established pattern of her being the angry black woman who tears down
Always
other black
unsatisfied.
women. Then she reaches out to Quad Webb. And it's like, Quad, do you think I should be on Married to Medicine? Quad is like, girl. At which time Quad drops Dr. Heavenly, thinks that her and Phaedra are going to be the new freaking Frack on Married to Medicine, gets Frack onto Married to Medicine, only for her to get dropped by Quad, only for Phaedra to drop Quad on the show and turn her back on Quad. And then everybody gets Quad kicked off the island in Napa, remember? Then, between season 10 and 11, Phaedra Parks went to HR with Sweet and Sour, Contessa, Dr. Jackie, and Dr. Pancakes, Dr. Rabbit and the Bunnies, and tries to get Quad fired so she could be the only unwed friend of on the show. Tried to get Quad Webb fired. Said nobody felt like filming with Quad. Dr. Jackie goes and tells Dr. Heavenly, oh, Phaedra's doing too much. She's trying to get your girl kicked off the show. I was at the meeting, but you wasn't at the meeting, so I'm telling you. Dr. Heavenly then goes to HR and was like, oh, no, bitch, we need Quad on the show. You get rid of her, you get rid of me, because I'm going to film with her. Don't worry about it.
I love how Dr. Heavenly and Jackie have that good relationship.
Me too.
Phaedra also called Heavenly the devil's daughter.
Oh, the devil's daughter, the Dr. Hell.
That's the one who's lying about our allegations, saying that the girl was going to
No, not
take the other
necessarily.
one.
But you know what, though? I remember last year, Heavenly herself gave credit to Phaedra and said that Phaedra helped her a lot with production and, urging them to show more of her personal side and all this. Heavenly said that.
Yeah, Dr. Heavenly says she still loves Phaedra. Like, she didn't have some problems with Phaedra. Phaedra's the one with all the problems towards them because her inadequacies are highlighted around such Black excellence. So Phaedra gets to pretend like she's the smartest, sharpest, jackestress of all trades in the drawers on all the other shows. But when you get next to real bona fide practicing Black excellence, your light is dimmed. So that's why she hitched her wagon to Sweet and Sour, because Sweet and Sour's light wasn't brighter than Phaedra's. Contessa's light isn't brighter than Phaedra's. So that's why she hitched her. That's in my opinion. But then, okay, let's finish it up. So then she gets over here and tries to get Quad fired. It doesn't work. So now she's mad and on a rampage, and she spent season 11, her last final swan season on Married to Medicine, tearing down Quad, Heavenly, and Jackie because they didn't go on with her plan to try to get her off the show. And then leaves and says that they're all hateful, mean trash. So we'll tear down other Black women specifically. So that was a whole projection whore monologue that she did, because the only person who's consistently done everything she's accused the women of Married to Medicine is, in fact, Phaedra Parks herself. So you should watch it because it's very interesting. You might be torn on the couple of the scenes, but Sweet and Sour doesn't know how to STF you yet. She talks a gang of shit out of both sides of her neck and mouth and then cries, oh, they're picking on me, they're bullying me, they say things back in English and I can hear. Oh my gosh. Ooh, but you have to watch the vibe check when Quad was talking about her experiences with Dr. G, and Dr. G decided that in America she doesn't get to say what's on her mind, and that it was a direct her saying what happened to her in their relationship was her attacking him. But she was talking about her being attacked by him in their relationship, but because he's a freaking narcissistic personality abuser and allegedly, speculatively, Google that shit, he had a problem with her voicing what happened to her. And it went very left. People said, oh, she provoked him. She did this, she did that. Look, you can say what you want. In America, I have the freedom of speech She didn't stand up in a small room and say fire. She has a right to relive her experiences. It doesn't matter if he was a part of it or not. She was talking about her experience that happened to include him. Then Toya, I want you to really pay attention when you watch it, Sebastian, because people want to lie on Quad all the time. And she says, oh, I can throw you guys a baby shower. But you know who said it first is Toya. Toya got a lot of the parties started this season. And Toya says, I'm uncomfortable. I'm going to throw you a baby shower. And then Quad says, yeah, and I'll throw the baby shower. And no, she said, Quad will throw the baby shower. And Quad said, yeah, I'll throw the baby shower. I'll throw the baby. It'll be fabulous. And everybody's like, why is she saying that? But it was Toya who said it first. So I need you to listen to that part. Did you hear it when Toya said it, Manny?
Yeah, well, I'm not a fan of Toya's right now because I don't like the way she flipped on Sweet Tea at this reunion. I didn't like it.
Was it a flip or was it warranted because Sweet Tea went on her channel and was talking shit about
No, it was a flip
Toya?
because there were moments where like Toya was going out of her way to like just dig at Sweet Tea and Dar. I didn't like it, but Sebastian, I think you're gonna be on Dr. G's side because no, Quad was acting very inappropriately in a setting of couples when she had her own man that she supposedly loves so much.
And she does love him, because she definitely isn't loving that box troll G anymore. And his tiny dick energy. She is not. She's loving her 15 times a week. Believe it. And every time she mentioned it at the reunion, Sweet Tea's face got sour because she's not even getting her one-time Viagra a week.
Well, I think Sweet Tea's very happy knowing that she doesn't have an
I don't think she is.
stolen
She
car.
not happy. She
that
don't
he
have no
might come
baby in her
pick up
womb yet.
anytime.
That man got her in the ooh, and then Sebastian. When you see the scene after they leave the sandbar and he gets her in the room and is like, why are you making me act this way? Don't make me. You're doing this. You need to stop before you get something. Like, it was horrible. He's an abuser. And I don't think that he should be allowed on this show. Yeah, I don't think we should allow redemption arcs for abusers who haven't changed. He was poking her. He was yelling in her ear. He was ghostlighting. He was gaslighting. He was doing all the things that abusers do to Sweet and Sour. He was doing on TV in front of 8 other men and a camera, and they want him on this show. I don't think he should be allowed on this show. It's disgusting. Him and Stockholm need to get off my damn screen. It's triggering as a woman who's endured abuse to see this man on this television get to whine about, oh, poor me. Really, bitch? She said you suffocated her and dragged her across the floor. And you say we did things to each other. So he didn't deny it. That's admitting that you did that, but he's saying, oh, we did things to each other. Was it perhaps because she was fighting back? Who knows? I don't know. But it's a lot. You're going to watch it. I'm glad you got the VPN because, oh my God, Ruthless is back on.
Wait, you're right. Oh my God. I gotta watch that.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And the highest just beat Ruth's ass last night. Beat her ass. Look, so if it's a show about crazy cults and stuff, I don't mind seeing abusers. But if it's a show about reality and you're trying to make me be a fan of somebody who's supposed to report abuse and he's an abuser and everybody else jockeying for him, I'm not with that. But on Ruthless, the highest just whooped Ruth's ass and found out that there's a plan. And River is the new Daikon. Somebody chopped off the old Daikon's head. Hello? Andrew came back. Andrew was gone and came back, Sebastian. Oh, poor Lacey. Self-immolated. Is that what it's called when you set yourself on fire? And oh my gosh, it's the last season is right now. You have to watch. But Ruth got caught She's been slipping lately. Oh, and the feds have the place surrounded for like a week now. Sebastian, you have to watch. Do you watch Ruthless, Emmanuel?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, we like our Tyler Perry filth. That and All the Queen's Men are kind of like some little very guilty pleasures. But if anybody wants to see what Bolo's working with, check out All the Queen's Men. Okay, you guys, now we're going to get to the hard part of the talk real quick.
After seeing all, we all know why Portia was acting funny the next day. After seeing
Right?
after seeing what Bolo has, oh no, no,
Yeah. I'm
Oh, remember
surprised
when
you went.
Kenya shamed Portia for that?
Yeah,
well,
that's
like, Portia was having a lot of fun.
You know, I'm starting to think maybe Kenya is very resentful that she don't get none, and that's why she's mad at all these other ladies.
I mean, she can get bedroom candy if she needs something. Okay.
get some. But why doesn't she get it is the question. Like, it's her. It's her whole energy, her
She's a beautiful
attitude.
woman.
But men meet her and are put off for some reason because
Right,
her
and
energy.
exactly. In the words of Karen, can we talk
Leave
about
this
the
girl
fact that you can't keep a
alone.
man?
Y'all are like becoming like Gabor and Garcelle.
No,
Stop.
What
no, it's
happened
not.
to her Israeli
But
boyfriend?
Garcelle over there, honestly, is for no reason. This is for reason.
Well, we do know Portia was definitely getting that bolo, most likely. That's what I
Yeah.
believe.
I wouldn't have done it on a cast trip. I would have hit old boy up when I got back to the A. But I
That's what
wouldn't
she
have done
should have
it.
did. That's what she should have done.
Yeah, I would
That's
never have
why
done it.
Dennis left her. It's because she was with him.
It was because he was in a fursuit with the next one. They said that Dennis is a Furby. I don't know if that's true or not. Allegedly.
Oh yeah. What was
I
that
heard
girl's
that,
name? Giovanna.
yeah, Giovanna. Giovanna.
I
Okay,
love
you
Giovanna.
guys.
I actually miss Giovanna. I think they should
Eva
add Giovanna to the
Garcelle.
show.
I miss Eva Garcelle. Eva Marcel. I liked Eva on
What?
I
there.
love me
Do you know
some
what
Eva.
ethnicity Giovanna is, Sebastian?
I think she's Costa Rican.
She's Caribbean?
She's Costa Rican.
Huh, bless her heart. I wonder what she's doing now. I haven't seen her on nothing. Like, you know,
Let's do
some
some
people.
research on her. Where is your? Yeah, her parents are from Costa Rica. Yeah.
Oh, cute. Huh. Yeah, I would love to see Eva back. Um, Eva, Nene. I don't want Ken. I don't want Portia. I don't want Phaedra.
I'm tired of
I,
Portia's
I think
dumbass. I'm so
I
sorry.
think if they even did Nene with Britt and Kelly and
Can we add Marlo?
Shamia and Marlo
No, we don't
and
need Marlo.
I
no,
love
Marlo was
Marlo.
good. I liked when Marlo had a peach.
Marlo was not good. Marlo
Ken
was not
was the
good.
problem. Ken was her problem when Marlo had a peach. Ken did everything to make her peach experience very not nice. They could have played that a whole lot different.
Also, Curse,
And
look at the irony of Kenya like ridiculing Marlo all those years for her criminal past, like what happened
yeah,
when she was very
always
young.
pulling up her mug shots and stuff. Yep.
Right, and now look at the irony of like,
But you guys are
look who got
forgetting what
kicked off the
Marlo did is way
show.
worse than what Kenya did. Marlo actually slashed someone on the face with
But
a.
you know why it wasn't worse? Because she had the mind of a child when she did it, and Ken has a
Exactly.
nice, big, old, wise, big brain mind, allegedly, and she has 60 years almost to know that was the wrong thing to do. Whereas when Marlo did it, she was young, dumb, and full of cum and wasn't making all the best decisions. Whereas Ken has had an experienced life and should have had the
Marlo
fortitude
was an adult
to
when she committed
Google.
that. When Marlo committed that crime, she was an adult. That's why she lost her
No,
pow pow right.
and
No,
Marlo
she
came
was,
from a very rough background, which I feel like a lot of
She
people don't
lost her
give her
pow
enough
pow rights
credit.
because she was an adult when she did it.
but she was not 50.
Right.
Hard
Agreed.
50.
When you're 50, you're wiser than you are when you're 20, right?
True, but that doesn't mean you get to
No,
get
no,
away with
it's just true. It's just true.
practically slashing someone's face. And speaking
Well,
of
and she did her time for
slashing,
that. She
can
did
we
her
speak
time
about
for that.
Carmelo Anthony now? Can we speak about Carmelo Anthony and the
Well, wait,
slashing?
but right after we say she did her time for that, now Ken's going to have to do her time for revenge porn.
Kenya's not gonna do no time. Watch.
I hope she does. I hope Britt Eady sues her and takes the mansion, and now she don't have no college money for Brooklyn and nowhere to live.
Oh,
I don't think she's gonna be able to do that because, as I said, those things were readily available online.
But they weren't.
Sebastian.
And even Sebastian, you
You got them
didn't.
scratched.
We went over the laws for it,
Uh-huh.
and if she didn't sign the release for Ken to show it at that event, specifically with a monologue soliloquy about how she's a whore and impugning her reputation business wise and otherwise, then she might have a leg to stand on. The mere fact that she said it to humiliate, embarrass, and terrorize in a public setting makes it revenge porn. Google it. Google it. The mere fact
Hey, you guys are
that she
absolutely
did it
correct.
to
I'm not
humiliate.
justifying what she's done. I'm not justifying what Kenya did. What Kenya did is absolutely atrocious. I would never do that. I clearly have said all the time that Kenya was wrong in what she did. What I am saying is it's going to be very hard to say revenge P because if it was available online, you sign
But it
away
wasn't.
licenses. It was
And that's
available online.
it
The thing is,
wasn't.
it was. She got it scrapped off the internet
No, you know
now,
what,
which
Sebastian, and I've said this. If that would have been online, I promise you, no matter how much scrubbing she would try to have done, we would have already seen it by now.
no, we wouldn't
Because
have.
yeah, everything lives on the internet.
Because
Everything.
she probably got it scrapped off immediately. You can do that. You get an attorney to get it, things like that removed.
Mm,
She
I
said
don't
she
know.
had it done before. She said she didn't even know where Ken could have got the pictures because she had it scrubbed before. And then Ming Lee's phone enters the chat. Did you hear
Yeah,
about that, Sebastian?
allegedly, I did. Guys,
Okay.
I'm gonna go get my food outside, and then when I come back, can we please talk
We're
about
going to
Carmelo?
talk about Carmelo Anthony.
Because
Okay.
honestly, you guys gonna have to get ready because it's gonna. This place is gonna be worse than a war zone. On my thoughts on
Okay.
this situation.
No problem. No problem. You go get your food. So, so far this morning on on Larger Curves, we've already talked about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. We've talked about Real Housewives of Atlanta. We've talked about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And now we're going to get to the hard stuff, you guys. Carmelo Anthony is trending in the news. A young 17-year-old Texan who was at a track race under a tent and something went horribly, horribly wrong. They're like, oh, he had a knife at the track thing and he stabbed this boy in the heart for no reason and he's a hero and da 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 blah and he's a this. And I was like, I wonder what really happened. When I initially heard the story, I thought several things. I was like, damn, straight to the heart? That's messed up. Why did you have a knife? Oh, you must have been in a situation before where they didn't listen to you, and that's why you had the knife. Come to find out, it was see, he was a track star, and it was a tool used for sharpening, I guess, the spikes on his track shoes. So it wasn't an actual knife, it was like a file for his thing. So he did not bring a weapon to the track race because he was a good kid. He's sitting under a tent, minding his own business, kind of as much as you can at a public event, when two brothers who were previously known to him come up and start, giving him the razzmatazz and talking to him. And he was very respectful. There's footage of this until a belligerent, drunk Caucasian coach comes up and starts cussing at him and his cameraman. And that's when things started to get a little heated. And then now there's no more footage. But the boy is dead and everybody's speculating. I'm going to let us listen first to Judge Joe Brown because this is going to set the tone for part of the aftermath of why I feel the way I feel and might lend some, I don't know what it can lend. It's a horrible situation. Let's listen to this. Oh, wait. Because I'm going to use this from TikTok. Multiple witnesses report traffics. Can you hear that?
Not too well.
Okay, let's see. It's kind of high pitch. Sounds like you're in a tunnel. Let me see if I can find a better one. So basically, Judge Joe Brown is saying.
A witness came out and made a statement in the Carmelo and.
So they were saying that he just did it for no reason. Okay. I was letting Judge Joe Brown give his part of it because I feel like having Judge Joe Brown's input would be good because there was a robbery in progress. We already talked about how the tool he used was not a knife. He did not bring a knife to the track field. It was a tool for his cleats. And it fell out of his bag after the Austin brother and his other brother had accosted the boy, took his backpack, taken his phone, smashed it on the ground, and then he picks up this thing and stabs him in the heat of the moment. Here is video on, but we can't see it.
Austin Metcalf downplaying Carmelo Anthony's chance at success.
Yes.
You will also see the coaches downplaying Carmelo Anthony's cry for help. Those coaches made it very clear that Carmelo Anthony's opinion did not matter. Let's watch the video. Like no matter what you do, even if God forbid it doesn't work out, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be good. Thank you, bro. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like, let's say we are gonna watch 20 year niggas tonight. What would it? I give me wine. What's your favorite, bro? Yeah. What's your favorite wine? Right. Give me. Sir, what works for right? It's for tailgates. Oh shit! Hey, bro. Hey, bro. You're not talking like that, bro. He didn't. Hey, could you get his? Please. No, Edward's good. He good. Okay, a little bit. But I know, but you had to talk like that. Bro, no. I'm saying this is my guy, though, bro. Like, no, but saying, no, bro. You first started messing up, bro. All you have to say was, hey, bro, please move. Hey, this is good, bro. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you don't mean it like that. Drunk. What's drunk? I know, but I beg. I swear this.
So that voice that you were saying, thank you, thank you. Why are you talking to us like that? Is he drunk? That's all Carmelo Anthony. He's the one being polite. He's the one being non-confrontational. And he's in a tent with all Caucasians, and he's there with, he said, his cameraman. So I don't know what color that person was, but they're under this tent that day. And this was the vibe right then, was Carmelo's all cool. And he's asking, is this adult Caucasian man drunk who came over and started talking shit to him?
Who's talking to me like that? What's to him like that? Who's doing it? Let's see. He's not a child.
So right now he's under the tent. He's surrounded by 5 Caucasians.
He just trusted my boy all day. He said, yo, just fuck me, and look, Charles. It's okay. I'm not okay. Yeah, what's it? No, nobody was arguing with him or nothing. He just first time like he was a child all day, but he was just sitting there like, playing the music. Yeah, sure. Have a good day. Sure. The welcome is walking to school. No one working out there. After a lot.
So that was right before it all happened. It's on TikTok. If you just do Carmelo Anthony video, it comes up of him under a tent. So that was one of them.
You're finding Carmelo's Instagram page. It looks like he was just looking for trouble because he posted this picture with this caption. I'm sorry, I couldn't. And
okay,
once
here's
the
Judge
arresting
Brown.
officer said, I have the alleged suspect in custody, Anthony reportedly told the officer, I'm not alleged. I did it. Anthony then said that McCaff put his hands on me after he asked him not to. After Anthony was placed inside the police vehicle, he asked an officer if McCaff was going to be okay and if what happened could be considered self-defense. Now, attorney Anthony...
Right there, so he went wrong. He ran his mouth off pretty much. He had the witnesses going for him. But if he did that, then what happens is he just quasi removed his defense because self-defense says you can't escalate a force used unless there is disparate strength between the person who is attacked and the person who is the attacker. In other words, a little old lady potentially used some deadly force to stop a real strong young guy from doing her in. The two young, strong guys are not supposed to escalate physical force where it is of non-lethal violence into using a weapon and becoming lethal violence. So he shot his mouth off. He was doing good, and then he opened his mouth. So now he gave them some cause to say, okay, this is a homicide where the situation was escalated. He's an athlete. Why didn't he just respond with physical force? And if the assailant escalated it beyond what was an exchange of physical force, unarmed physical force, then he could escalate the match. So you saying in other words, two guys are having a fist fight, and one of them pulls out a gun and shoots the other. That's going to be a murder case because the violence got escalated to another level that was uncalled for. Mm-hmm. One guy pulls out a gun, the other guy pulls out a gun and shoots him fine. If it's a felony murder, like I was describing, okay, but he ran his mouth off and said, I did it, and me scared because she went in. That's not an excuse. Since he shouldn't have said nothing, but
Yeah, shut your mouth, people. So go ahead, you guys can start. I'm gonna look for this one other video. Do you think it was self-defense? Do you think what do you think is gonna happen? Does it matter to you that the let me look for the autopsy. What was the boy's name? Austin Metcalf autopsy. Austin Metcalf case. Autopsy. Oh, and then the brother was doing. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, awesome. Because then the brother did. He's changing his story all the time.
Curves, there's two sides to this story.
Okay, I'm going to focus on Carmelo's right now. Here's
Okay.
here is allegedly reports are about the
Chris, it's only
autopsy.
showing. It's still showing your initial screen when you were showing us the
Yeah,
Garcelle
it's
unfollowed.
froze. I haven't been able to show nothing else.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you guys.
Straight from the Collin County autopsy report, it says right here: date of birth, Austin Metcalf's birthday, place of death, David Stadium, Frisco, Texas, time of death, 4:14 p.m., cause of death, drug overdose, blood loss via substance name. And then there's this part, which is also known as the Molly other term. Wait, what? There's also this deleted video about Carmelo Anthony that got taken down, and it says it's normal for students from different schools to gather under another school's tent. Carmelo had friends there. The claim that one of the twins had never seen Carmelo before, a blatant lie. No student has the right to remove another student from a school-owned tent. School owns the tent, not the twins. And get this, Carmelo is a track athlete. Twins, not athletes. He wasn't even expecting to see them there. Y'all, what is happening? This whole thing just got way deeper. What do y'all think? Drop your thoughts below.
Okay, so he was high, you guys. The autopsy said that he died of a drug overdose.
Well, first of all, that video sounds like AI, but actually, the Frisco Police Department came out yesterday, and they had to let us know that there's been no autopsy report that has been released. So they kind of made one up.
So all that's lies.
Yeah.
So he was already buried, though. They already had his service, right?
Yes.
So the autopsy would have been done before the service, though, right?
Yes, but I don't think they released it officially.
Oh.
Yeah, the Frisco Police Department has not released any official autopsy.
Okay.
Yeah, it says the Frisco police chief began disseminating fabricated details about the investigation. The next day, a fake autopsy report surfaced on Facebook, falsely claiming drugs were involved. The
Oh darn.
disinformation
I'm sorry for
continued to spread
perpetuating a lie, you guys.
with fake
I'm sorry.
Instagram
Correction.
screenshots. The
Okay, well this
CBS
was
News confirmation team, along with law enforcement, confirmed the social media posts to be fabricated. So yeah, what I'm starting to notice about this case, unfortunately, since it, you know, the story broke, is
yeah,
that there's been a lot of things that have been said that have
yeah,
not been, yeah, confirmed.
yeah, like it was a knife, it was a cleat thing, that there
Right.
was this, right. And then even it's shady on whether or not they really knew each other or not, because
You're
allegedly the
right.
brothers were bullies.
And then
And
somebody
then,
just said that, oh, there was an issue with a girlfriend. So that's I told you this yesterday because that's the problem with the internet. People can just say whatever they want,
yeah.
and we don't know.
Well, did you see that the brother's story changed? And he keeps saying different stuff?
No, I didn't see
Yeah, and
that.
Carmelo's story keeps changing too.
No, but
Oh,
oh, Carmelo has told a different story. I haven't heard
Well, the
Carmelo
thing is, his
speak.
story keeps changing. It keeps going to bullying and stuff like that. But the reality is, Curves, he literally told the cops himself that he did it. He said it himself. This is a fact. Like, this is in the statement of the police where he literally said, I did it. And
he
he also
asked. Yeah.
asks if there is self-defense going to
Can I
apply
claim
here.
self defense?
So that
Right.
doesn't, and all of that
That admits so
doesn't,
much guilt. And one thing is, I'm glad an attorney, I follow this attorney on YouTube. I'll give you his name in a couple minutes. He
okay.
mentioned something about self defense. You cannot have the intention to do self defense. For example, let's say you have an abusive partner. You cannot just all of a sudden, let it pile up and then just like, you know what, today I'm actually going to do something to him. You can't do that. You cannot have intent for self defense. Self defense is something to happen in the moment.
In
It's
the
not
moment.
something that you can just
Oh, that would explain why the Menendez brothers were
It was okay. So
locked
you're
up.
telling me that in the moment he was scared, he was getting accosted, he just picks up the thing, stabs the guy. That was the moment. So
No,
you're saying
the problem is he told him, if you touch me, you'll see what I'll do to you.
no, he
That
didn't. That's okay. That's
is
also part of the thing. They're saying
that's
that
not
he
self
said,
defense
"Don't
right
touch
there.
me." So there's two different stories for that part too. He's saying that he said, "Don't touch me," and then other people are saying that he said, "Don't touch me, or else you'll see what I do."
Hold on, let me give you the new. I have the perfect news place that can give you this case very well. I'm gonna send it to you, and you can actually play it on your
My
channel.
my as Sebastian looks for it, I'm gonna say my issue with this is that these are high school
Right.
kids. This should have just been a fist fight. There was no need for it to be this tragic. That's my thing with it.
That you know what's really sad too? Okay, so I'm gonna give you my other part about why when I was talking to husband about it, I was like, damn, he messed up his whole fucking life. Too bad we do everything so
Mm-hmm.
great and our aim is so good that he got it right in the heart. And, unfortunately, and then I was like, okay, so he's 17. He's a black kid. So for his entire life, all he's seen is people get away with murder. Just stay with me for a second. What he sees
Okay.
is people get away with murder. People get to protect themselves. They get to stand their ground. They get to shoot people with their hands up, walking away. They get to shoot them on their ground, lying prone. And nothing ever happens to these people. Now, in a 17-year-old mind, while you might know that it's wrong and right and all of that stuff, he wasn't planning on killing the boy because he also said, how is he? Like, he's like, is he okay? Like, he was just trying to get his phone back. After witnessing for 17 years, nothing happened to anybody. And he could think that an appropriate response is, oh, let me do this. Because for one, nothing ever happens. And for two, this is what happens. Everybody in the whole world is protecting themselves with a form of lethal force. So I too get to protect myself with that amount of
Curves,
force.
curves. I sent you a link where a defense attorney, no,
Uh-huh.
criminal defense attorney, and also the famous attorney Alan Dershowitz, who I don't like, explains
Ugh,
the
not
self.
him.
Sometimes you have to listen to that part. So, where he explains the whole self defense thing. He's also a professor as well.
At Harvard,
Oh, you
Honestly,
right?
sent it.
I think
Okay.
so. In the private
I'm
chat.
looking. Oh, in the private. I
Why is
can't
your
get to the
screen not?
private chat. You have to send it to my Instagram. I can't get into. I'm telling you, my screen is frozen. My screen is frozen with this big box on here that says following.
Okay,
Can
I'm
you send
sending
it
it.
to my Insta? Either one. I have it open now.
I'm sending it to
Thanks.
you. That's the problem with this whole Carmelo Anthony case is that self-defense most likely will not apply to him because you cannot come to the playground like, for self-defense. You cannot come to the playground with weapons. You just
It's
can't.
not. He's not at a playground. He's at a track field
No,
as a
it's
track.
a form of speech.
Listen,
It's a form of
listen.
speech.
No, no, no. It's he's at a track field as a track star, participating track star with a track tool. Was that a weapon?
Well, the thing is, they're not. They're saying there is. This is not. They don't think it's a track tool. They're not saying it's a track tool. I sent it to you. This is a
Okay, I just got it.
News Nation brought on two attorneys to talk about this case. Alan Dershowitz is one. Sadly.
Well, are either of the attorneys black? Because if we get Ben Crump or Al Sharpton, then they'll tell us the other side.
Well, no, none of the attorneys are black.
Yeah. So they're going to try to find a way to put this black boy up under the jail.
Me
But
personally,
like
I will say this though.
Kyle Rittenhouse, Kyle Rittenhouse. Now that was
Now
bringing a gun and doing some bullshit. This guy is at a track field doing what track stars do. Gets accosted. He was in the. I'm going to play the thing after this when Judge Joe Brown talks about how he was in the midst of being robbed and how that changes all the dynamics, and that the initiator of the felony, which is strong arm robbery, is the responsible party, and that the Metcalf is basically responsible for his own death. I'm gonna play that one too.
I
Here.
think the reason Kyle and okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I paused it.
No, I was gonna say, and Sebastian could chime in if he knows. I think the reason Kyle Rittenhouse was acquitted was because, if I'm not mistaken, I think what the jury was presented with was that in the moment when he shot the two guys, I think what it was said was that in the position he was in during that, there would have been no other way for him to escape. Is that correct, Sebastian? Am I?
Yes, and that's not the only thing as well. One of them literally admitted what the surviving victim literally admitted on that court stand. He pulled out the pow pow after me and my friends were doing something to him. They literally admitted it. That's why, if you notice, those attorneys who were charging him, I think the DA or stuff, they literally planted their face in their hands because they realized the case was just thrown out completely once that was said in court. That proved the self-defense. And we cannot forget, I don't agree with everything that happened with the Kyle Rittenhouse case, but the fact is, he was almost stomped on the face. They would have fractured his
With a
face.
skateboard, I think it was.
Right.
So the mere fact that his mom drove him 3 state lines or some bullshit, underage with a weapon, that means he was premeditated in what he wanted to do with that weapon. Because why are you just walking around with that, bruh?
Well,
Yeah,
But
that was
the thing is,
problematic. I'll
that
give you
was
that.
problematic completely, but that is a misdemeanor in the state of Wisconsin. Possessing a firearm as an underage minor is a misdemeanor.
so
Doing
what is
something
it for having
that
a track? What is it when you have a knife in Texas? Is that a misdemeanor or a felony?
well, you can have your knife, but what you do with your knife is where the thing starts, and it's the same
Okay,
thing with
so
the
it is kind of Kyle Rittenhouse in as much as you can have it is what you do with it. But if a black person does it in the midst of a robbery, then we got
No.
problems.
What was that? There was a case of a black person using a pow pow in self defense, and they got away with it. I forgot what state this was. I think it was in Texas or something
Well,
like
I
that.
hope he gets away with it because mentally
Not
he's not getting away with it.
He's not
But
gonna. I don't think he is gonna get away with it. And the reason why I will say I don't think he is, and obviously the Austin Metcalf's family, I completely feel bad for them because I literally saw something that the father has said he's forgiven. He's forgiven Carmelo.
And
He's
the
made
way that the team treated that poor man who just lost a child at that press conference was
right.
deplorable. It was
You can get a
well, he
unacceptable.
wasn't supposed to be there. He put himself in that
Well,
situation. Why
Carmelo
are
wasn't
you
supposed to
here?
be in the tent either, but
Carmelo was not
No,
supposed
he
to be
you
in
see
that
wasn't
what
supposed.
happened
tent.
with
And
that.
that's the part. They just said that. You can be at any tent you want. His dad, for sure, was not supposed to come to that press conference, and he
It
was
was just
trying to
a press
start something.
conference. You have the right
No,
to.
it
It's
was
a
a
civic
press
press
conference.
conference,
It was a press conference for press and for the Carmelo Anthony family. Was
and the
he part
local
of them?
community, and the local
No, it
community.
wasn't for
So
the. There was
the the
wasn't the
dad
case.
wasn't supposed to be there. He was asked to leave. He didn't hurt anybody though, did he?
He didn't hurt anybody, but I would wanted to know, well, why are you here too? You could hear it on the news like everybody else.
And I
That
thought it
was
was
weird.
very disrespectful for the mother of Carmelo, the way she referenced the victim to call him that
As
boy,
the Metcalf boy.
that Melcalf boy. Lady, your son's
Why?
alive. The other one isn't.
Look,
Like, keep
you know
up.
what? You can't, but
It's a
she's
total
also grieving her
trigger.
son too. She's
What is
also
she?
grieving her son too.
Her
She
son's
still has him.
alive.
She has him, but she doesn't have him because these white boys were fucking with him and he made a bad decision.
Okay, let's listen to this Judge Joe Brown, and then let's listen to the self defense. I mean, the criminal defense
I'm going to
attorney
listen to
explain
yours
himself.
first, the news one first. So here's this, you guys. This is
Okay.
Chris Como and two white lawyers.
Okay.
Carl's bond. They reduced it to 250 grand, which is, still sizable, but he wound up paying out. All right, so Mark, first of all, the idea of race, I mean, you lived it with Zimmerman in a big way. People who believe that's why Zimmerman wound up beating that case. But what do you see here? What are your questions? What will matter? Well, no, it's definitely a consideration. It always is, whether it's
Is that too fast?
sort of obvious what we're doing or the intuitive one.
It's too
That's a
fast.
little fast. That's a little fast. Yeah.
Defense case, yes. So this is definitely a self-defense case, because it always is one until you look at the facts of the case and compare the two. You have to compare who was the initial aggressor. Did an aggressive black man go up and say, get away from the tent? Did he do more than that? My understanding was maybe he touched him and put hands on him. Granted, that makes the decedent in this case maybe the initial aggressor. You really still then have to look at whether or not Mello Anthony responded with appropriate force, he used a deadly weapon, and whether or not he was in imminent fear of great bodily injury. That's the standard in Texas and most every state, to determine whether or not his actions, the way he perceived him, the way Carmelo Anthony perceived him, when he took out that knife and stabbed him. The good part is if the decedent was the aggressor initially. The bad part for Carmelo, if in fact it's true that he sort of said, touch me and you'll see, but that's that aggression, that's that predisposition towards violence that doesn't have a place in a true self-defense case.
Right.
What's the most important question for you in this, Mark? And then I want the same from you, Professor, if you have one. Go ahead, Mark. Sure. He truly was the initial aggressor. How did this unfold such that if in fact he had a reason to believe in great bodily injury was imminent, was it reasonable? Was he pushed? Was he shoved? Was he hit? Because don't forget, it's of the moment, but you are allowed to respond to great deadly force with your own great deadly force, or at least your perception of great deadly force. So it's really going to be fact-based. I do think that race, it's going to be played out on social media. It also is going to be played out in a courtroom if you ever get there, because in today's day and age, I would argue that someone like Carmelo Anthony now has a concern over the past few years and the way we sort of degraded some of the progress thought we made over the past decade, as far as how we're treating young black males in the system, such that maybe he would have felt more preyed upon than he otherwise would. Who can say you're right? We're going to be talking about this for a long time. Professor, what do you got? Hello? Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Hello, Professor. This is all about who the jury is. So this will all be determined by the jury. If the racial factors were reversed, if a white man had killed an unarmed black man, everybody would be on the reverse side of this. We live in a society where everything is judged by race. You know, the Bible says to judges and prosecutors, don't recognize people, just do abstract justice. We're way beyond that. If the racial elements were reversed there, virtually all the people who are calling for him to be acquitted would be calling for him to be convicted, and vice versa. Let's not kid ourselves. We live in a race-conscious society, and jury selection, which Torture, yes, so brilliant at and did so well in the Seminary cases, on the outcome of the case, without a doubt. For me, it's as simple as, how do they feel about this proposition? Bringing a knife to a fist fight. I'm Mark O'Mara. We'll see what happens. Alan Derkowitz, thank you very much. Hey, thanks for watching.
And I don't like that narrative, because if they can't even tell us was it a knife or not, then they shouldn't keep on saying and setting it up in the minds of potential jurors that he had a knife. They shouldn't be doing that.
It was a knife.
But it okay.
was.
Okay.
It was a knife.
Okay.
It's social media and everything is trying to make it seem like it was a knife. No, it was a knife.
Okay, now we're gonna, let's see. Oh, okay. Real funny story in the middle of all this, real quick. So the other day, I'm on somebody's chat, and it was about Eric. No, it was about, who said it? Lala Ken. Lalo Ken was talking shit about Garcelle leaving Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, right? And I go down in the comments, and I'm like, why is anybody listening to her when she pulled a knife, for real, a knife, on Faith Stour and held it to her throat, the only black person on VPR, and now she's up here bashing another black person on Bravo. You know, she needs to kick rocks. Like, she doesn't even know Garcelle. They're not friends. Like, why is she even talking again? Right? Somebody went up under the comment and they're like, well, I'm mad that Carmelo Anthony committed murder. And I thought I didn't know about this case yet. Who do we know is Carmelo Anthony? The basketball player. So I'm thinking she's talking about the basketball player. Like, but did he talk stuff about Garcelle? No, he's busy playing basketball. Had no idea about this, and then find out that there's this poor boy named Carmelo Anthony. It was weird, though. But it was just a weird thing for that random person. I'm totally talking about Lala, and they're like, Carmelo Anthony. It was so weird. So they're right. It is going to come down to race, because the people are racing about it. Okay, let's go here. You guys might not want to hear it, but Dr. Umar has thoughts.
To Michael Brown's test. But when Trayvon died, he gave money to Trayvon's killer. He gave money to Michael Brown's killer. He raised money for the people who unalived us. And you want us to feel, listen, we don't delight in the loss of life. We are Africans, the only genetic human beings on this earth. But it is critical to try justice before the facts have been laid out. When your people have been so guilty in aliving our people, the double standard. While still doing documentaries on O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson was found innocent in a court of law, and y'all still doing documentaries on O.J. Simpson. Do you know why y'all still doing documentaries on O.J. Simpson? Because in your racist narcissism, you believe you have a right to take our lives. And we don't have a right to take yours in self-defense. You want us to feel for your loss, but you didn't feel for us when Trayvon died.
Okay.
You gave money to Trayvon.
And that's a point. That's valid. I mean, I hate to say it, but I literally go there when something happens. I try, and it's maybe a defensive mechanism or something, because we do see so many of people that look like us go unpunished for, when things happen to us, that I do find it hard. I've been numbed to compassion and being like, oh, poor person, And that's unfortunate because I really am a nice person and I care about people deeply. Yet I do kind of take this stance where that was kind of karma, unfortunately. But let's also listen to Judge Joe Brown. Where is it? Joe Carmelo. See if it comes up like that. Joe Brown Carmelo. MSD, explain to me why y'all like it is. Here it is. McCaff in the chest. Police said by the time officers arrived at the scene, McCaff was unconscious and not breathing. Oh, shit. Yeah. The athletic trainers there performed CPR. McCaff was transported to a hospital. He was pronounced dead. Witnesses told police that Austin McCaff and Carmelo Anthony did not know each other. One witness said they were with McCaff under their school tent during a track meet. Yes. Removed his defense. Okay, that's not the one. Is the case you're not talking? I'm trying to get to the one of because you guys heard Joe Brown say he quasi removed his defense. But then after Judge Joe Brown got more information that we haven't gotten about the robbery, then he changes his stance a little bit. Robbery. See if it comes up like this. I can't find it. Is it this? Speaks again. Last week, breaking down, some. No. So you guys, tell me more. I thought I was going to be upset with you, Sebastian, but I'm not mad yet.
It's because I've been holding back.
Oh, don't hold back. Tell us what you think while I look for.
Okay. Number one, period. I'm going to give my whole stance on this completely now. Carmelo Anthony needs to be locked up. He does. He does need to be locked up. And he's lucky that he's not going to get the DP or life or the LP, the LI, life imprisonment. He's lucky because there's a Supreme Court ruling that says people below the age of 18 can't get those things. He does need to be locked up. His actions were atrocious. You can't just stab someone in their heart. I understand you want to try to claim self-defense and everything now, but the thing is, if you said, touch me and you'll see what will happen, that's no longer self-defense. You clearly made yourself. You can give someone a warning. You can tell them not to touch me, but you will see what will happen. It means you already premeditated.
There's Sebastian, it's also important to mention that before he said touch me and see what happens, he opened his bag first.
Oh, that's even worse.
I'm reading the police report right now.
That's even worse. What I am basically going to say, this is tough on both families, of course. The Anthony family probably does not want to see their young child go to jail for 30 something years, because he's probably going to have to serve that amount of time because you took someone's life. He can't get life imprisonment, but he was going to have to be in jail for 30 something years. That's true. But we cannot lose the sympathy and compassion for the Metcalf family either. They lost their child. No one expects to send their kids to school to participate in athletics and be unalived. No one does. The same way no one sends their child to go to school and get unalived from a school power. No one really wants that. If he did not have said knife at all, this situation would have never escalated to this point. This situation, the worst that could have happened, they both would have been bruised by the punches that they've been throwing at each other, and etc. Yeah, some organs may have been hit and stuff. It would have been painful and for a couple of days, but you would have moved on. But to lose a child, to lose an actual child, to bury your child, that's insane. Because normally it's your child who's supposed to bury you. But to bury your own child, it's harsh. It's harsh. Yeah. And the Metcalf family is not getting compassion. I do not see people giving the Metcalf family compassion. Everyone
please, they have three GoFundMe's. They got $1 million in a new house or something.
That's getting a lot of support. That's actually allegedly the Anthony family who got a new house and a whole lot of donations. If the Metcalf family has donations, rightfully so. Their son was unalived at a track meet for athletics. They could use that donations to start a quote unquote scholarship for track students or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, it's
it's
horrible.
absolutely atrocious that
It
this happened.
yeah.
And Carmelo is the one who elevated the situation, which is
No, he
why,
didn't.
yes, he elevated it because you cannot just stab someone, girl.
He didn't
Curve.
just stab him. He
Oh,
had his
curve.
phone
What?
taken. He had his thing done. He was in the middle of being accosted. He was in fight or flight. He grabbed the thing after he told him not to
Okay,
touch him
if
and
we're gonna
touched
play
him.
this game curves, if we're gonna talk about fight or flight and stuff like that, well, Monique Samuels completely justified in
I
dragging
was
Candace.
just gonna bring that up, Sebastian. I was just gonna
Monique
bring that up.
Samuels was completely justified
Curves,
in dragging Candace
you
Dillon Bassett.
trash
She
Monique
was
for
accosted. She was
dragging
accosted.
Candace, even though Candace asked for it. You were super
She
against that.
did a hypothetical question. If I say go jump off a bridge, I'm not telling you to go jump off a bridge. This
But you
is
told me
not intellect. That's not
drag me,
intellectually
Monique.
honest. It's not intellectually
It
honest.
dragged me, Monique. It dragged me. It dragged me, Monique.
You
Are we
want me
forgetting?
to?
Uh-uh.
You want me to? You want me
She said,
to?
She said, what you gonna do? Drag me?
And she started
What you gonna
twirling her
do? Drag
hair.
me?
She started
She said,
twirling
what you
her
gonna
hair.
do? Drag me?
Do you want me to?
She said, what you gonna do? Drag me?
Do you want me to?
So that was a question that she could have answered with words. She said, what you
She
gonna
started
do?
twirling
Drag
her
me?
hair curves. She literally took her hair and started twirling it around her
Twirling
face.
it.
Monique was twirling Candace's hair. Candace's arms are hella short. She wasn't twirling Monique's hair.
But she was putting her hand in her face.
Please. That was not the truth. That was Giselle's old ass hand, by the way. And I don't know how Candace got brought into the freaking Austin.
It got brought in because I remember how hard you were going hard for her when we
I'm
talked
still
Keep
about
her
going
hand on
hard
the
for
CSL.
Candace. I'm still going hard for Candace. She didn't deserve that.
the same way the Metcalf boy did not deserve that.
But Candace is still living and breathing. She's fine.
She's still living. She's still alive. She got over the pain of what Monique did to her. The Metcalf family's son is lost.
Okay, so speaking of that, let's listen to real quick. I found the story where the brother's story keeps on changing. Where'd it go? Diddle-it, diddle-it, diddle-it-dee. How you gonna rock it like this, son? You're the best one. Stories change, stories change, stories say the same.
Me
Yeah.
personally, I will say this. If the other one had a weapon or was punching him, and then all of a sudden he pulls out the knife and stabs him, okay, that's different. But that was not the case.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
That was not the case.
Okay, here's what the brother says happened. Let's turn this up.
His name now. This kid is saying there was this kid. Before I knew his name now, this kid is sitting under our tent at the track. Got him to move and started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." He's like, "Make me move." Off and grabbed his backpack. And the kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I looked at my brother, and I'm not gonna talk about the rest. So just that's what I saw. And I try to help him. But we come back, we sit down, and this kid. I mean, I've never met this kid on time. I never knew who he was. And when I came around and asked him who he was, he started getting really aggressive. My brother started being, like how he always speaks to brothers, just my back. And things started getting more on higher intensity. The kids said, aggressive stuff and regular stuff, trying to handle the problem. And there was this kid.
Okay.
So I knew his name.
So that was the same brother doing two slightly different. I don't know. It was something about first problem was Carmelo was sitting under their tent. And then the second problem was Carmelo said a reckless conversation. But I played initially the conversation under the tent was Carmelo all please and thank yous. If you see the video, his demeanor is very amicable. It's not tense or anything. Nothing got tense until the 5 Caucasians surrounded him while that one belligerent adult was talking smack. That's when the energy was shifting a lot, when they all stood up around him. So, but he was all polite. It was all, oh, thanks, man. Oh, yeah. Well, can you stop cussing? Like it was all, he was the nice one. They were being the aggressors in that initial video I just played. So now, does that change anything that he's like acting like he was saying reckless conversation when all we heard him say was thank you?
Well, I don't know about that video, but um, reading from this police report, so it says Carmelo is a student at Sentinel High School, and he was sitting under the Memorial High School tent. It says verbatim, Austin had told Anthony that he needed to move out from under their team's tent. And Anthony grabbed his bag, opened it, and reached inside and proceeded to tell Austin, quote, touch me and see what happens. No one really thought Anthony really had any weapons in his bag. And Austin proceeded to touch Anthony, and then Anthony told Austin to punch him and see what happens. A short time later, Austin grabbed Anthony to tell him to move, and Anthony pulled out what someone recalled as a black knife and stabbed Austin once in the chest and then ran away. Austin began grabbing his chest and telling everyone to get help.
That's not even what his brother just said. That's interesting. Here's what
Well, the police would probably be more better than the brother, because the police would clearly interview all the people there before they could make their final report.
not necessarily. Not necessarily, because they would have taken their words from the closest person, which would have been the brother, and his story already changed, and that's nothing like what he said. So that's very, I'm just noticing that it's nothing like what their number one witness would have said. That's not what it just said. That's not what he just said twice. So now let's listen to Austin's attorney.
Themselves, and they reasonably fear for their life. Each and every one of us, two sides to every story. And Carmelo is a 17-year-old kid, an excellent student. He's the captain of his track team. He's the captain of his football team. Prior to this, what was on his mind was what college he was going to go to. This is a tragedy all the way around for both families. Rushing to judgment, trial by public perception and trial by media is not how we ensure justice is done. We are confident that after a full investigation, that the truth will come out. Thank you. You took 2 pumpkins of the state assessment significantly. Why was it? Well, the fact of the matter is, like I said, there's 2 sides to every story, and we've only heard one side. In any criminal case, the police investigate, and the defense is always far behind that. So it is a one-sided investigation to this point, and even that investigation is still ongoing. So to say that it happened this way or that way is just not accurate at this point. All of the facts are going to come out, and that's why our system of justice requires that we keep our minds open and we let the facts come out as they are after a full investigation. Yes. I anticipate that he will be able to make bonds. I can't speak to how quickly that will go. Funds
in the funds that have been raised are not quick to come out. And then, there's obviously a process to the release process once bond is posted. The big question that a lot of people have is, why was this young man armed on school property? That's an understandable question, but it's not something that, frankly, we're prepared to even go into. This is something that I know the police and the prosecution want to get it right and want to have a full and fair investigation, and so do we. So it would be irresponsible for me or them at this point to start saying, this is what happened, this is why, anything. So I understand that's a big question. It's going to be a big question, and it's something that we will find out. And we ask that the public, as hard as it is, withhold judgment and let both of these families have justice. That let both of these young men, the Metcalf family and the memory of who they've lost, but also Carmelo, have a fair and full justice process. How has he revealing on the reduction of his bond with your experience? Yeah, I feel it's fair. Bond, as the judge said, is not supposed to be an instrument of oppression. It's not supposed to keep people in jail. It's not supposed to punish. It's supposed to ensure that a person shows up to court, complies with all conditions, and it's supposed to keep the community safe. So this is a large and substantial bond, and the judge has, I think, rightly imposed reasonable conditions that will ensure both Carmelo and the Anthony family's safety, but also the safety of the community. What was Carmelo's reaction today? He didn't seem very talkative toward you. And how has jail, I guess, been so far for this teenager? And does he look on suicide watch or anything like that? I honestly can't speak to Carmelo's reaction because I was so focused on the hearing and what was going on and what the judge was saying. I think we have to all remember Carmelo is a 17-year-old kid who's never been in any sort of trouble before. If you can just put yourself in his shoes, this is a scary, bewildering process. And I can't even imagine what was going through his head, just as I'm sure I can't imagine what was going through the heads of the Metcalf family. So, this is something that is new to all of them and incredibly trying. So for people who want to know, why were you selected? I mean, what is your experience? Had to be really good. I can't speak as to why I was selected. In any case, it's important to have an attorney that you connect with, that you feel has the right amount of experience and the right investment in the case. And I'm not speaking to anybody else. I just know that that's important in this case. Just how awesome is this man here? Multiple times. Yeah, I can't. I'm not going to speak for them at this point. But I think you can imagine that the press coverage on this case has been immense. And
speaking of the press coverage, you mentioned it earlier, Sebastian, that they had a press conference and the father got kicked out. And at that press conference, they were just going over some I didn't really listen to it.
Breaking news.
Did either of you guys listen to it?
Willis says Carmelo.
Yes, I listened to it.
What were your thoughts? I was kind of, I don't have a reason for not listening to it, except for that it was just hard. What were your thoughts on what they said?
The guy who, I don't know if he's the lawyer. I don't think he's the lawyer. I think he's just like representing. I don't know. It sounded very performative. You would, if you had never heard about this, if you about the case, and you just tuned into this press conference, you would think Carmelo was the one that died.
Oh, man.
But it's very clear that his team, they're definitely going to talking about race. Like that's like their main topic right now.
Our team? Carmelo's team?
Yeah, Carmelo's team.
Carmelo's team is talking about being Black in America and how that shaped his response.
Yeah.
That's valid. That is totally valid. I can totally feel. I mean, unfortunately, you treat people a certain way for 450 years and they grow up swearing they're not going to be the next one. They're not going to be the next Sandra Bland. They're going to go down fighting. They're not going to end up Trayvon Martin without a fight. They're not going to end up Michael Brown without a fight. They're not going to be Breonna Taylor without a fight. It's not fucking happening to them. I can get
Right.
that. I get it. I get it.
But at the same time, Curves, like, I can't be someone who was against the unaliving of Breonna Taylor, of George Floyd, of Trayvon Martin, but then not have that same level of disagreement with this death. Because at the end of the day, the reason we are, against those other deaths was because they shouldn't have happened, and because innocent lives were lost.
Well,
And you
it
get what I mean?
was, yeah. So Breonna Taylor shot dead in her home.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Brown walking back from the liquor store with his hands up. Trayvon Markin on his way home from some Skittles got accosted by a white man. Aubrey got accosted by some white people minding his own fucking business. There's a lot of minding your own fucking business going around when you get accosted. This guy was minding his own fucking business under a tent where everybody says nobody rules the tents. Nobody rules the tents. He has a right to be anywhere he wants to be. And now there was an interaction where he could have thought he was about to get Aubrey O'Day. He could have thought he was about to get Aubrey, whatever the Aubrey guy. He was literally running, jogging through the thing when the people got in their car and pursued him. So they said that they made it clear he got his bag, he was leaving. So he was doing what they said. If they really did ask him, because they're colonizers and they're like, oh, we colonized this tent, even though you can be here. We're colonizing this area for us. You need to leave this premises. And so he was abiding, he was leaving, but then they got next to him and they took it a step further. So they said he was leaving. Does that change anything? So he was
Wait,
acquiescing.
who said he was leaving?
Even the brother said that he was leaving, but he was saying stuff. They asked him to leave and he got whatever he got and he was saying stuff.
Well, like I said, I don't know about all that, but just going based off the police report, if he got his bag, opened it, reached into it, and said, touch me and see what happens, that means that in his mind, he knew that if he were to be touched or whatever, he was going to pull this out and use it. Like I said at the beginning, had he just beat his ass, I would have been on his side. But the fact that this resulted in a death, like, no,
Right.
I can't. Nobody sends their kid to a track meet, and is it
And
expected
deserves
that?
to have a casket. I understand. I
Yeah,
get it. I get it. I totally get it. And if it was self-defense, if they were really antagonizing him, snatching his bag, and usually a person says, "Don't touch me," after being touched.
right.
And so I could see something like being touched, saying, "Don't touch me again." Then you touch me again. Then you're like, "Don't touch me again, or else." And then he does it again because he was feeling colonizer. And then you got what you got, and it didn't deserve a stab. And too bad, like I said, we're good at everything. He did it right in his fucking heart. I'm like, damn, not the leg, not the neck, not the arm, not the stomach. It was like really center mass. And I'm like, damn, because that changed both your lives forever. Like, I'm positive Austin would have, had he just got shanked in the arm, he probably would have not stepped to another person and smashed their phone. He probably would have learned his lesson. But just the finality of center mass. Oh, damn. That's so fucked up.
Yeah. It's
I
all.
found Joe Brown talking about it being a robbery. Let's see, listen to this.
Why y'all like to lie literally for no reason. As if this man is speaking on another case. He's not speaking on another case. He's literally talking about the Carmelo Anthony case. If you pay attention to this screenshot that I just provided to you, look at what he's wearing. And this is a screenshot from the video I posted. Look at what he's wearing. He's literally wearing the same outfit. Stop saying that he was speaking on another case when he's literally talking about Carmelo Anthony.
Oh, okay. Wait, here it is. Carmelo. Because it's the one where Joe Brown has the fur jacket on. Where'd it go? There are a lot of speculation. They're like, were the boys Confederates? That's too much. That's too much. I don't know. I don't feel great about scandalizing Austin. Um, and if it's gonna not get the 17-year-old life,
The case. This was a random one.
life or
Yeah.
murder,
Oh, and by the
then
way, Curves, I didn't tell you this. I live
Mhm.
20 minutes away from Frisco.
No way.
Yeah, it's like
I
super close.
I heard it's a nice area.
It's a wonderful area. It's very
Yeah.
new. Almost all the homes and all the businesses are pretty new. Like they were just built not too long ago. It's a very peaceful place. Very nice.
Carmelo Anthony. Because that one that I just had, you said you couldn't hear it great. Let me see if I sent it to myself. I really need us to. Yes, so Garcelle unfollowed everybody today, you guys. She had an unfollow party. Ooh, Sutty Sutton on your own. Sutty Sutton, find a home. Now Sutton's not even interesting. Garcelle made Sutton interesting as a friend, but now she's on her own. Poor Karen. Has anybody got Karen Huger's prison number yet so we can pen pal her?
I know. It blows my mind to think that right now the Grand Dame is in a jail cell. I can't. I can't believe it.
I'm so like, poor thing. We really need to write to her. We should lift her spirits and do like a pen pal thing with her, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Would you guys write to her with me? We could do like a.
She put herself in that situation though. Why are you getting
Yeah,
40
she did.
UIs?
She
No, you
did.
know
She
what?
did.
I feel like the courts put her in that situation. For it to be her fourth one, and this is the first time that they've responded
Oh,
with
that's right. That's weird.
an actual what's it called? Consequence. It's the court. They let her get to 4 without a fucking rehab. They never at any time ordered her to rehab, a breathalyzer, to have to breathe, nothing. 4 times they did this. Because obviously she was in the throes of her disease, which is bona fide alcoholism is a disease. It's something that is supposed to be treated like a disease. You're not in your right mind. They let her come to them 4 times, 3 previous times without addressing her disease. And that was a misjustice of them because now she's in this situation at 61. Had they dealt with her the second time even, she might have only been 40 and never drank again. But now she got to 60, double 20 plus 2, and is in jail because the judge never did nothing. That's a miscarriage of justice. It's not her fault. They did it to her. They did it to her through her elbow. That's what I'll say. Because it was her elbow bending. Where's Kerberos? Did I send it here? Okay, well, I can't find it. It doesn't even matter. You guys will find it. We've been on here for almost 3 hours, you guys. The damn thing was, though, that Joe Brown is saying that if there was a robbery, because there's been more, like his lawyer said, more is coming out every day. And in the police report, it doesn't mention that there's a robbery in progress. It doesn't mention that Austin smashed his phone. But allegedly, that has something to do with new evidence being found. And if that's the case, Joe Brown is saying, as a judge who had previously thought he had thrown his self-defense thing out of the window and all of that stuff, now he's saying that if in fact the Metcalf brothers had come up to him and Austin had stolen his backpack, stolen his phone, and damaged it. And they said that he took it and stepped on it or something. That at that time he was in the middle of being robbed. And during a robbery, which is a felony because the phone was over a certain amount of money, that would make the people who initiated the felony responsible for all rest of the actions, putting Austin in charge of his own death. And by proxy, his brother should be the one being charged with murder in this case because he was part of the initiator of the initial felony. Bam! Bam! And I really hope that's how it went down because I don't need this boy to go to jail. I don't need this boy to go to jail after making such good decisions his whole life. It doesn't seem like he was a troublemaker. He was very polite from what we heard. He could have a whole other life like a lot of us do. But if in this situation, once everything is out in the open, I'll come back and we'll do another one. But if it's true he was being robbed, do you guys feel any different?
No, and I want to be clear. I'm not like I know Sebastian mentioned the death penalty and all that. I will make it clear. I don't want his life to end or for him to be locked up the rest of his life. I don't want that. But at
That
the
can't
same
happen to him.
time,
That's what I said. He can't get the death penalty or be life imprisoned.
no, I know, and that's what I'm saying. And I wouldn't want it for him anyway, because I do believe in serving time and getting out. But what I also don't believe in is he's like on if you go on social media, they're treating him as a hero and like he did something good or like we can have multiple thoughts at once, but to
Mm-hmm.
try and say that like the death of someone isn't bad, that's where I have a problem with it. But we'll see what happens. It's gonna be an interesting case.
Yeah, for sure. I don't want to come off like I'm saying it's not bad too. So
Oh no
okay,
no no! I get you. I get you. I get you.
yeah. Um, I'm feeling like, but it does feel like I'm saying that. I'm sorry. Um, all this death is bad. Violence is horrible. Um, maybe next time for track meets, there can be no cleat sharpeners allowed because if somebody comes and steals your shit, you might have access to something to shank them and get your stuff back. I mean, if we even look at how kids these days are unaliving their parents for taking their phones,
Mm-hmm.
Google it. So if that was his response to having his phone done, that's also something to consider. Is just like unhealthy attachment to these devices too, you know. But it's very
Yes.
layered.
Chris, there
It's
was a story recently, a few months ago. I think Sebastian remembers me telling him. So it was during the summer, and you know how like sometimes during the summer all the cousins would go to grandma's house or have a
yeah,
sleepover or whatever. So all the cousins went to grandma's house for a sleepover, and two of the cousins had a little bit of a fight because one of them got the phone. It was all over a phone. Long story short, because the girl got her phone, the other girl who was 13, I think,
yeah.
goes and kills her while she's
Oh,
sleeping.
yeah, like unalived her 9-year-old cousin or some shit like
Oh
that.
yeah,
Was
you
that
heard
the
about it?
one?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Yep.
Yes, it was horrible. They're crazy.
Over a phone.
Yeah. So I don't know if
So yeah.
Carmelo's Anthony's parents have a separate case for his addiction to devices, if that's the case. But
Right. Yeah. So
that's
there
a
there
lot.
there's something to be said about kids at such a young age, like even being capable of doing it in the first place. Like I don't know what's going on.
Right. Yeah, and like having all these games where you stab people and blow them up and then they get regenerated. Also, it kind of like I don't know that the value system for life is actually in play.
I agree with that.
Sebastian, you have any final thoughts? I'm not super mad at what you said. I'm with it to a degree, but I do need him to have all his justice.
I want him to have all his justice, especially the victim who was unalived by him, and that justice will be served behind bars where he deserves to be.
Okay. And even if Austin is the initiator, and even if everything that they said that Austin did was done, even if everything they said that Austin did was done prior to Anthony defending himself.
It was premeditated. You can't say those words. I'm gonna show you. That's not how self-defense works.
Okay, well, like I said, the brother himself never said he said those words, and he would be their prime. Um, he was closest to the whole thing, and he, in all his stories changing, has never said that those words were said. So I'm surprised that the police were able to articulate that so well in their thingamabob, because yeah, and based off of the previous video, I hope they're taking that into consideration. But police don't usually take video footage into consideration. But the video footage of right before everything happened under the tent, it was Anthony was the only polite one. He was the only non-abrasive, non-confrontational person in that environment. And grown, I mean, like people who are older than his daddy, grown white men, were sitting there cussing at him and his friend, which set the tone for the other players under their care. Like, so if the adults are talking to Anthony like that, I could see Austin being like, oh, well, I have backup to treat him like this, because nobody did anything. Nobody did anything. We're going to have to wait for all the facts to come out. My prayers are with Carmelo Anthony. My prayers are with the Metcalf family. And violence is never the answer, you guys. Look, I'm team keep your hands to yourself, and I'm also team freedom of speech. So I don't know where we going to get in this world. I don't know. I don't know. That's really sad. But my son just turned 17 last Thursday, you guys. So this is like, and he doesn't make the best choices all the time. He doesn't. And so this is really hitting home for me, because all it takes is a split second and one thing. A split second and one thing. And that's the lesson, is no matter what age, you can be Ken Moore's age, and a split second of penises on a poster board with a soliloquy changes your life.
And you throw your daughter's education money down.
Oh my God, poor Brooklyn. I think Mark should sue her for that.
Right.
Didn't Luann get sued when she spent her kids' trust money?
Did she?
Yeah, you don't remember that season? Luann was living in the Hamptons, and she had went in the kids' trust, and they were mad at her. Remember? You don't remember?
That is messy.
Oh, and I have hot tea for Real Housewives of Miami. Oh my gosh! So Real Housewives of Miami. Did you guys see the trailer?
No.
That little
Well, at
clip
least
that they showed.
Yeah, that little video clip, like how they did for Real Housewives of
Yes.
Atlanta. So I saw that. And within 24 hours of me seeing that, I get a call. And the call is from Curvy, who knows the ex-wife of the newest housewife's husband, and commenced to sending me so much about their finances and how they're in court. All their money's fake. It's Porrito all over again. He stole money. He stole the kids' trust fund. He stole money. They used to have restaurants, and he wouldn't pay the employees and pulled a Peter Thomas and wasn't paying the workers and spending all the profits. He gets sued for all of his real estate deals because he's shady. And all of this is and I actually have she's sending me the actual court documents. Okay? So we're going to have a lot of stuff. The lady's name is Stephanie Shonjay, and she's Nicole's replacement. And allegedly, Nicole's replacement, Stephanie, also used to date Anthony?
No way.
That's what Reddit said. Reddit said that allegedly Stephanie used to date Anthony and Nicole's filmed for the finale scene. And Stephanie was showing her all kind of shade, allegedly, in the finale scene for a Gertie shot. It was like Gertie was having a party and Nicole was in the shot. Because, Nicole went on hiatus after having her baby.
Right.
And so she's not going to be in the season all the way, but she is in the last thing. And this Stephanie lady and her are supposedly bumping heads to the point where if Nicole comes back, that could be a great storyline to pick up on.
Do you
So
know
yeah,
what ethnicity this Stephanie woman is?
she's blonde blue, but that could be anything, right? She could be Spanish, European, Israel. She could be anything.
Right.
Let me see. What's her,
She
how do you
looks
spell her
ethnic
name?
for
I
sure.
can't show you. I'll send it to you guys in the on the Instagram. But we're
I'm
right
so
at three
yeah.
hours, 3 minutes, and 33 seconds, you guys. I'm gonna shut this down. Thanks for coming through. I'm gonna call you guys maybe an Instagram later, but I'll definitely share the picture of the lady that I'm talking about to you guys in the Instagram because she's very tall and Nicole is very short. So I don't know if
Yes.
he used to like him like Mia Thornton tall. Like it's how
Right,
tall
because
this
he's
lady's
short
looking like
himself.
she's huge.
Oh, she's Colombian.
Oh, look at
Her last
that.
name is Shohai. That does
Shojahi.
not sound
I think
Colombian.
that's her husband's last name.
That's the
Hold on.
husband's name, and that's how I got the inside info. Is the ex-wife of the husband? Yes, is who's telling me is who I'm getting the information via.
Yeah, that's her husband's last name.
Yeah, and so he's the one that to support their new lifestyle. She was the mistress, by the way. She was a she got wife. She was a homewrecker turned wife, and yeah. So the ex-wife is very, yeah. So we're going to talk about it all. I want to do it before the season so we can get a head start on it, but I'm still waiting for the last court doc. And I might run a story about it next week. But now that I'm mentioning it, I better do it real soon because everybody's going to be on it. Because there's only a little Reddit thread from 11 months even about her name at this point. So yeah, I got to get on it. But I appreciate you guys for being here. Make sure you
Yes,
smash
it
that
was
like
good
button.
conversations. Good to
Thanks you
talk to
guys a
y'all.
lot. You guys are part of my OG Curvy crew, and this was such a special treat. On this Good Friday, I have none other than Manny's TV Talk. You guys go smash his buttons. And Sebastian says, all the way from España, man, this is so nice. And Allie from Miami, you came up too. I'm sorry my thing froze after you left the last time. It literally, my whole screen has been gray ever since this following thing came up and Allie dropped off with a oops, connection lost. Firefox not responding. The entire last 2 hours, you guys. So I don't even know if we still live. I have no idea. I don't know. Let me see. Were we even still on here? The last time. It literally. Oh no, we are. Look, it stayed live the whole time. Oh, so now we're on our way over to Krista Marie's though, Emmanuel, for the Valley. Are you coming?
Yes, if I'm gonna try to go because it was a good episode.
Okay, so I'm gonna go over there, and you guys can do all the talking because I tried to watch, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My triggers got in the way. I really tried to watch, and all my triggers got in the way. But I'm gonna come over there and be up there with you guys. I love you guys. Smash the button. See you in the next video.
See
All
you.
Peace.
right.
Bye.
This was
Talk
so
to y'all
much
later.
fun. Right on. See if I can even get off of here. So crazy. Got to go into the task manager, you guys. I swear I had to do a control alt delete on here. I'm opening up the task manager. And it says I have 18 Firefox windows open, you guys. This shit is crazy. Anyway, see you in the next videos.